Welcome to the Planescape, where good and evil clash, where law and order maintain their delicate balance, the battleground for gods and monsters. Many heroes have written their legends in the stars of the astral sea, but these are not their stories. The Per Aspera and her crew, Kyana, Finbar, Virla, and Dani, may not be the stuff of legends yet, but they're definitely rolling with difficulty.
Hello, and welcome to our little planes-hopping D&D campaign, folks. My name is Austin, your friendly neighborhood dungeon master, and as always, I am joined by my rescued robots reconciling recent realizations.
Aww.
Say hello, everyone.
Howdy.
That's sweet.
I was imagining
It's too bad trauma didn't fit the alliteration otherwise.
I'm imagining every old member of the Per Aspera is just like that one Lisa meme where she's just staring blankly into middle space, like mouth open. Yeah.
What is it that you want? Sense of purpose and some stability in my life.
Welcome back, everyone. We're very excited to be back. This is episode 1, season 4. Woo! This is where things get good, so thanks for sticking with us this long.
Now?
We're finally picking up, baby.
I had to edit like 30 of these.
That was all practice. You know, you can't rush art.
We're Star Trek TNGing this. Somebody's grown a beard, and now we get to actually be good at this.
The twist is it's me.
If the Finbar resurrection had given you his facial hair instead of his height.
If we change growing the beard to growing the height, or growing the height, that would be great.
Danny's beard is Davian.
Oh.
Hey. That love is real,
anyway,
Austin. We're soulmates.
Let's be real. Davian's beard is Dani.
Yes.
Davian's beard is Dani. We're very excited to get things started. I can hardly wait. My heart is going like... But before we do have a sponsor. So, Sophia, please torment us for the next couple minutes.
Yay.
Yes. Okay. I had to think of a sport, and I had an extra hour in which to do it while we were sort of like doing housekeeping before this, and I didn't think of one. So I'm going to cast my mind back to all the athletic events I've been to in my life. And I'm going to find a horse, get on it, and start doing some rodeo shit. Because I went to the Cheyenne, Wyoming rodeo one time. Swing that lasso around and pull myself over. A nice ad read. Because thanks to World Anvil, this episode is sponsored. Starting off strong.
Is that how rodeos work?
I have no idea.
I'm sorry, this is my first rodeo.
Thank you so much to World Anvil for sponsoring today's adventure. World Anvil is a browser-based world-building tool designed to help you, the creator, write and world build, all while keeping your work organized and in one place. World maps, calendars, customizable wikis, visual timelines, and more let you decide how best to build your world, and when you're ready to write, look no further than the built-in word processor. You can keep your prose directly in World Anvil to keep every step of the process in one place. We all know TTRPGs are all about the power of friendship, and with real-time collaboration, you can work with your players or other creators on the same project. On top of all that jazz, World Anvil has an exciting feature called whiteboards. This visual canvas allows creators to freely draw out their ideas, adding diagrams, mood boards, flowcharts, and more. If you're a more visual creator, this feature is perfect for you. You can chart out character arcs, storyboard key scenes, doodle a little corner of your eye image of one of your castmates laughing at you because you stumbled over your ad read looking at you, Noir, or whatever else you need to help make the story you see in your mind come to life.
It's not like you talk for a living or anything.
Interested, of course you are, and it only gets better because for our listeners, World Anvil is offering a special discount. Just use code PLUG at checkout for 40% off a yearly membership. That's code PLUG, P-L-U-G, for 40% off a yearly membership. And thank you again to World Anvil for sponsoring today's adventure. And then I'm gonna ride the horse back into the stable, jump off, and go get myself like a funnel cake or something. I don't know.
I'd like to commend you for your bravery on choosing a sport that is equestrian related, given your personal lore.
Truly conquering your fears on this one.
I've created a bit that allows all of you to at me, and I'm okay with that, because that's the kind of person I am.
Mm-hmm. Braver than our troops.
The troops got a lot braver once they stopped having mounted cavalry, I'll tell you that.
God gives his bravest warriors his toughest fear of horses. Oh man, did you guys know how many horses die in the Kentucky Derby every year? Because I didn't know that any did, but apparently it's a bunch of them.
We're recording in May. This episode comes out in July. We cannot talk about current events. They will not be current anymore.
Is the Kentucky
apparently this is an occurring
for.
thing that
people just remember it. Anyway.
Why are we here? What are we doing?
Are we done?
Why are we here?
I just want to take a moment to welcome all of our listeners back to the podcast for the 4th season. As a reminder, we do have a Discord server that you can go hang out with other fans, chat, exchange some fan art. It's all cool stuff. There's also a Patreon if you're interested in supporting the podcast directly and getting access to a lot of cool bonus content like articles written by Austin and art by the rest of us. I'm pretty sure the rest of us have all submitted some form of drawn thing by this point.
Yeah. We can do some more homebrew stuff too, right?
Yeah.
Me and Austin got some stuff.
Yeah, there's the college.
We do have more that we can actually post. Well, this would be a discussion of what goes when.
Yeah,
but yes, the Bard.
TLDRs, there's a lot of extremely cool stuff on there, including the Bard subclass, College of Feasts. And if you're interested in supporting the podcast, that's the best way to do it, other than signing up for World Anvil using discount code PLUG for 40% off yearly membership. In addition to that, we do have a merch store. All of the designs are designed by our cast members, largely Red and Wally. You can get character art stickers of all the cool Season 4 designs on there right now, so definitely go check that out. And that's my spiel handled. So all that's linked in the show notes below. Austin, take it away.
Fantastic. Well, that is all the blah blah. So then, without any further ado, let us begin. When last we left our heroes,
Ooh, that's us.
The lost were found, the imprisoned freed, and the dead buried. Virla's old crew, consisting of Sierra, Aster, Caleb, and Eden, have been rescued from the pits of one of the most impenetrable prisons in the entire planescape. That's a good alliteration. I should write that one down for later. They had been rescued, and the final living member, Dexter, confronted, though he did escape, and one member of our crew did lose their life. They were returned, thanks to Dani, resurrected, thanks to Finbar, and you made your escape back to Limbo via the tuning fork and Enoch at the helm. Here, you decompressed. The crew, present and former, had interacted, made some small understanding of the present situation, and now as a new day comes in whatever manner is possible in the chaotic world of Limbo, where there is no rising or setting sun, no sky of any kind, just eternal churning chaos. One by one, our heroes begin to awake, and it is here that we must decide the future of the ship and its crew. Does anyone feel like they might be the first to wake up?
It's not Dani.
Probably.
Can tell you that much.
It's not Dani.
I think
Kyana. Go on.
Well, I don't know whether Virla will be the first to wake up, but he will not stay in sentry mode or whatever for any longer than, I think the 6 hours that is required for him to rest up. So
in that case, it's probably going to be Virla.
Then, Virla, as we left with you, so we pick up again. You come to the ship itself quiet. The outside still a little chaotic, a little bit noisy, but the field of protection that the Githzerai Citadel generates around itself, to which you guys are anchored, does provide some protection. So the ship is never battered or tossed or anything. Just in the distance, there's still the sound occasionally of rocks colliding, of fire going off, and yet even this is somewhat muffled by the efforts of the monks present. You come to leave your room. It seems that everyone is still asleep. Those who have been on the Astral Sea and unable to really enjoy a restful night are still asleep, and those who fought their way through hell and high water to get to those also still asleep after the trials. You check in, all of the Mechanites are still unconscious in their sentry mode. This actually is kind of spooky looking because they're basically all standing in the kitchen, like that one scene from iRobot where they're looking for Sunny. They're all just standing there like mannequins, but that's so spooky to you. You are a Mechanite. Kyana is asleep on the deck. Finbar, I assume, asleep in his room. Voss, I think, is asleep in the crow's nest.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
And
Correct.
Dani is asleep in the engine room. What would you like to do?
As Virla, I think, tries to figure out what he wants to do, I think he'll start by going to the helm and just more just to keep himself busy than anything else, just check that the vitals of the ship are okay. Just kind of, I don't know, fiddle some dials and tap on some gauges.
Excellent. Though the ship has sustained no damage from your previous adventure, still you go through the motions. Rest your nerves as tightly wound as they currently are. Kyana, I'll say with your pretty good perception, you can hear Virla like fiddling around and wake up from your sleep. You see the shadow of the Citadel looming over you and the silhouette of Virla futzing about inside of the cockpit, the helm chamber.
Yeah, that tracks. So the last time I dealt with any of this, I attempted to coax Eden into some fight therapy, and it worked.
A little bit.
A little bit. She didn't actually punch me, but, like, the sentiment was there. Oh, I hate looking at a problem I have no idea how to solve.
Was that Red or
Yes,
Kyana?
You can try punching Virla.
No. That's
Kyana
not
just
how
goes
fight
around
therapy works.
punching everyone on the ship until something happens.
Fight therapy is about letting the other person punch you.
Kyana makes Virla feel better just by beating the shit out of him. This is how bad you could feel.
Yeah.
Oh boy. I think I'll wake up, and I will use my latent command of the chaos of Limbo to make a little mini Per Aspera and little minis of all the people currently on it, and just start like arranging them, like where they might be able to fit.
Aww.
Like, all right, my
she's
room's
playing
up for
D&D
grabs.
and D&D.
It's perfect 1/15th scale, or
She's playing
1/44.
1/32.
Let's run a simulation. However you want. Oh, they're all dead.
No, come on.
I took the ladder out of the engine room and Dani drowned somehow.
Is that the Grim Reaper?
trying to animate them a little bit, like, oh, this is weirder than I thought it would be. Because I don't think Kyana thinks anybody's leaving the ship. I think she's just, that's not, she's got no say in it, and also it doesn't make sense for her. So I think she's just like, all right, where are we gonna fit everybody?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Actually, Virla, could I have you roll a perception check?
Sure.
I forgot to, should have had you do this before, but...
Okay, mister, this is the first roll of the season. You've been good to me last season.
First roll of the season.
Don't take
Everything
it for
hinges on
granted.
this. If you fuck it up, the whole season's downhill.
Perception?
Yeah.
9.
9?
Dead
Yeah,
average.
cool. You continue to fuss about. Kyana is observing, unsure how to help. Finbar, you're in your room, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Then we'll say, we'll cut to the engine room. Dani, you had a hard time falling asleep in your hammock because you're now 9
Little
inches
legs
taller than
hanging
you
out
were.
the end.
Little legs are hanging out the end.
Oh, your pants.
Yeah,
How
only
does
roll
Dani... What is the image of Dani sleeping?
I imagine that she rotates between her stomach and her back throughout the night, so she kind of gets tangled up and just like limbs everywhere. It doesn't look like comfortable, but she is clearly deeply, deeply in sleep and resting.
Nice. Well, deeply in sleep and resting, kind of like head turned, drool coming out.
Yeah, it's not graceful.
You hear a small sound inside of the engine room that kind of brings you awake. And as you open your eyes, you see that standing in the engine room is Caleb in his sort of meshy armor form, just kind of like looking around at things. Doesn't seem to notice that you're awake, but he does have like metal feet, so.
I will attempt to get out of my hammock and in the process inevitably roll over and fall out. Oh, shit!
Shit!
What are you doing?
You scare the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Sorry. People are still asleep. I thought you were still asleep.
I was!
Sorry, just, I don't really need to sleep that long, even before, my brain's very active. I just wanted to check out what you've done in here. Sorry. I can go if you want to go back to sleep.
Don't touch anything, and I'll climb back into the bunk.
Okay, well, that's dismissive. I see you got like a patch here on the, what's that all about? On the motive force generator.
You should try throwing something at it. It goes great.
Like a metaphorical, like throwing an idea and seeing what sticks sort of situation?
Dani will face down in the bunk, the hammock, like pull an arm around on the side shelves that she's installed, quote unquote, grab a like a bolt and chuck it over to him. No, throw that bolt at it, see what happens.
Oh, I thought you could throw it past it.
Don't make a persuasion check.
17? I have a +5 to persuasion. Dang. Dani's very persuasive.
I know you do.
Who could ignore this voice?
Her machinations are an enigma.
Alright, I'm gonna go against my better judgment on this one. He'll go ahead and throw he's a mechanical body. He's pretty pinpoint precision, like throws it right at where the target, quote, the patch is on the motive force generator. Why don't you go ahead and roll me a d6, yes. Sophia? Let me know if you get a 6. I can't remember if it's 6 or 1. We'll just call it 6.
I got a 1.
1.
Are we sure it wasn't 1?
Hold on. I'll look up. God, I wrote it somewhere. I wrote the rules. Oh, God, I don't remember where I put them. Hold on. I think it's on the Per Aspera.
Lucky bolt. It's back.
Shake off the cobwebs, guys.
I called it on a 1, so, or on a 6, and I don't know stats right now. Anyway,
with our
so he throws it, nothing happens. He goes, oh, so it's like like how stable you've made it kind of situation.
Yeah, we'll go with that. Look, you can look around and just don't touch anything. I'm gonna sleep here for longer. I'm so tired.
Okay. Just slowly backs away and
trips over plug inevitably.
Yeah,
sneezes
pretty much.
A little bit too.
It's a mechanite thing. You dismiss him. He goes. Fantastic. Voss. Remember, Voss is here. Voss. The sound of tinkering below you and the sound of pure unbridled chaos being forced into form in the form of scale miniatures and then played with little narration involved brings you to consciousness.
I guess this is the best sleep he's gotten in a while. He was in a prison cell for a little bit. It's exciting to get out. He got to watch the very strange crew of the Per Aspera sort of come together, both old and new. He kind of feels that he's overstepping his boundaries just a little bit. Up here in the crow's nest, I guess he'll pull out his harmonica, give it a couple of toots. Look over at the whirling chaos, right outside of the ship. He's thinking about home. He hasn't been home in a while. He's thinking about how much of the world has changed. And technically, this is the first time in a very long time where he gets to decide where he goes next. Not entirely sure where to go from here, besides home.
It's a good direction to have. Speaking of, at this point, your harmonica, people start to rouse now at the sound of music being played. So I'll go ahead and say everyone starts to wake up. Caleb, who is awake, comes up to you, Virla, who is currently at the helm, and kind of gives a glance at your work. pretty good shape, honestly, all things considered.
Is this layout at all similar to what you remember?
He kind of looks at it. He's like, yeah, I mean, broad strokes looks pretty similar. It's the same helm installed, the same motive force generator. The in-between bits, it looks like most things have been replaced, but I mean, everything's still going A to B to C, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Do you dally with this now? You were never really one for this part of it when, you know.
Well, needs must, but it's mainly Dani's purview. I don't know if you've taken the time to really meet her yet.
I tried to take the time to really meet her. She seems dismissive and aloof.
Oh, that's because it's early. Try her at noon.
She
I only died yesterday.
Yeah, fair enough.
So maybe give it till late afternoon, given those circumstances. Sorry.
Well, that's the question, right? He kind of like looks around. He's like, everything's really quiet now, but we all know who's gonna be up in a couple minutes, and decisions about where we're gonna be by noon.
Wait, we do?
Gonna be had, right?
Well,
Eden, or?
there's no point in making decisions on an empty stomach.
No,
I think.
Finbar's up.
He jumps.
He's sort of up and groggy. He's wearing like a set of pajamas that you guys haven't really seen him.
It's like those like button-up like satiny pajamas, but they got little like pixies embroidered all over.
Yeah. He's got fuzzy slippers,
Yeah.
You know, all that.
Damn.
Cap, single candle.
But the slippers are made of like
All
moss,
husband mode.
you know.
The candle's actually just a little fairy sitting on top of the wig.
He's got a nice pointy cap.
Scrooge. Everybody's a Scrooge hat, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I'll whip something up. Can someone help me move the other robots around the kid? I don't know how to disturb. I don't know how to do that.
I'll go get them. That's, yeah. Probably no one else should
too.
wake Eden up. Yeah, sure.
I could try waking Eden up.
He doesn't know about you guys talking, so he's like, oh.
No, she owes me a punch. It's fine.
My social skills have really decayed in the last 3 years.
I think I'm just distracted. I'm just like, I'm like trying to fit 2 people in the engine room, and it's not working. I accidentally perfectly rendered all the junk in there, and now there's no space for anything.
It's not junk, it's projects.
Yeah, Virla and Caleb go down to rouse everyone. Finbar, what's for breakfast, man?
What is for breakfast? Somebody roll me a D100.
Hell yeah, I love those. 34.
34. Leftover translucent crayfish stew.
Ooh.
Must have had that prepared at some point. It's early in the morning. It's been a long couple of days. He just reheats it.
You can phone it in a little bit.
Yeah.
More.
Puts it in the microwave.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's better for breakfast than reheated crustacean bisque?
Yeah.
Yep.
I love me
You
a
know how
bisque in the
seafood
morning.
in the microwave is what you want for breakfast?
It's a slow morning for everyone.
Everyone is awoken by the distinct smell of fish in the microwave.
Yep.
You're like the worst guy in the office.
I made salmon the other day, and everything smelled like salmon for the next 3 days.
Yeah. It's okay. He'll dress it up. You know, he'll dress it up a little bit.
He knows how to reheat. He uses an air fryer, not a microwave. That's the secret, folks.
How,
You mean
Austin, I
small
want
convection
you,
oven?
the person, to walk me through how you're putting a bunch of bisque into an air fryer to get...
I don't know one.
In a bowl, obviously.
I use a microwave. I'm not one of them.
Magic exists.
Magic exists. Anything's possible.
Magic
Fuck off.
exists.
Magic exists.
Air fryers
Anti-
actually work by funneling specifically from the hottest points of the elemental plane of air.
Exactly.
It's
Disinspiration
yeah.
to
Yeah.
Sophia. No, everyone gathers the refreshingly warm, if, you know, leftover breakfast is brought, and everyone scrambles to find enough chairs to put them around a table. Virla and Caleb, you like move everything over. Sierra like picks the table up herself, and then you guys start like bringing chairs in from where you can find them to fill in all the seats.
If we need to get barrels from the cargo hold, like
yeah, basically, yeah.
Can I imagine more chairs? Does that work? Or are they too big?
Yes, it would like you'd have to focus on it the whole time, but yeah, you could fit some more chairs actually.
The potential of forgetting to keep them going.
We don't have enough bowls. I have to
mix
get
them all
like
up,
mugs
like
out.
chair roulette.
We can imagine
like,
more bowls.
Yeah,
Limbo is great.
Yeah.
Kiana, make a wisdom check.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh well.
If you're imagining more shit.
Yeah. Save. Okay. 17.
17. You can create the bowls.
Great. All right. Chairs might have to wait.
Chairs, you gotta get some barrels. They're a little too large for you to like. You're able to like. You start forming, and you see like Lego in Lego video games being built, like the planks. But then as you start to get to the top, like the bottom ones start disappearing because it's just.
That's pretty cool.
First off, it's early. You just had a big fight. The smell of reheated lobster is filling your nose. You're a little distracted.
We're moving up in the
struggling with that,
world.
but you can summon a whole spread. Honestly, like really nice looking bowls, bowls, spoons, everything. Magically fills up as Finbar's like starting to like carry, an overburdened server starting to carry mugs and shit into the room. Everyone, Eden included, sits down, which is the moment, Virla, you realize that Aster is actually not present among anyone.
I was gonna ask, where is she okay? Where?
They're like, everyone kind of looks around. They do sentry mode, but like, they don't have to. Like, they close their eyes. They don't have to. So everyone's kind of like.
She was with us when we all went to sleep.
Yeah, she went to bed. Yeah.
Should we look for her?
Do you guys care? I'm joking.
Yes.
Do you guys want to look for her?
What do you mean?
I
Spent the whole season trying to get them.
I mind blinked with her for a second.
You look around as Caleb kind of like realizes as well at the same time you Virla. It's like, have you seen? Did she visit you on the deck?
No, not at all.
You checked the projection room yet?
I go to the projection room.
You immediately go up,
Dani,
open. The whole room is dark, illuminated with stars. And Aster is just sitting crisscross applesauce on the floor, looking up at them.
Good job, Dani.
Yeah, and Dani starts shoveling soup into her mouth.
Can I join her? I don't want to disturb her necessarily, but I also just want to make my presence known to her, so I kind of want to sit down crisscross applesauce next to her.
Cross-legged.
You
the phrase is cross-legged.
Crisscross applesauce
No.
is the technical
If there's
term.
anything I learned in kindergarten, it's called crisscross applesauce.
Everyone knows everything we learned in kindergarten remains true for the rest of our lives and never needs updating.
Tell that to
Pluto's
the
a
Pluto
planet.
generation. We've been deeply affected.
Yeah.
It's actually a dish you can learn to make. You got to be careful. If you make it wrong, you get confused from your left and your rights because you're crisscrossed. But that's neither
I think you're talking about Pluto.
So Virla sits down.
You go and sit.
Yeah.
She looks up, and then as you sit, she gives a quick, like, slight head turn, turns the eyes to look at you, glance, and then looks back up. Not nervously, not excitedly, just kind of a neutral observation.
We're going to eat in a little bit if you would like to join us. I know we don't need to eat, but I have found that the communal aspect has helped me. But for the first time in a while, you are free to do as you wish, and I do not want to deprive you of that.
Make a persuasion check.
Fuck. 1. Not a natural 1. I rolled a 3 minus 2.
Dirty one.
She does the kind of thing that a dog does, where she just kind of like blinks and turns her eyes towards you, then blinks back up, and doesn't move from her seat. Doesn't make any motion to move.
I will take that as a no. I don't say that, but I will just sort of give a nod and then get up and go down to the dining room to reassure everyone that Aster is okay.
Okay. You come in. Caleb gives a like, kind of like well kind of hands, and then notices, and then, right, awesome. Sierra sits down, takes 2 bowls in front of her immediately.
Yes.
Eden sits and kind of like stirs it, but doesn't say anything. And then, does Voss join, or is Voss?
He's just been hanging out in the doorway. He snuck himself a mug with this stew in it.
I hope there's like a trap
Just
door
watching.
above the kitchen that you could just pop your head through. Like
There is one under the table.
So then,
Voss standing off. The crew sits finally. Eden, Sierra, Caleb, also around the table. A moment of awkward silence, unless anyone says anything.
I'm having a great time, but I also have the model boat up next to my soup, so if anyone wants to see the seating arrangements I've figured out.
Yeah, Danny's just
What are
noisily
you-
slurping soup up. No care for manners.
Are you comfortable sharing what you're doing, Kyana? I am curious.
Oh, I was figuring out how everyone could fit. It's nice, right? Limbo's really fun. You should try imagining more stuff. Can I make another bowl?
Can you elaborate by what you
Yeah.
mean by that?
Another bowl just materializes next to you.
Yes.
No, the first thing, not the other thing.
I mean, there's more of us, but this is a ship that's, it's a big ship. There's a lot of space. So I was figuring out where everyone could go. Wow. See,
Plug jumps on the table.
yes, plug.
Yes, plug.
I
Hold on, can I
suppose.
sneeze?
Yeah, I suppose this sort of segues into a conversation we might need to have. I turn to the current crew of the Per Aspera, Dani, Kyana, and Finbar, and I say, last night I had explained the situation of the ship to them. I do not want to... You can believe me or not, I do not want to keep anything hidden. I want things to be transparent as far as our expectations going forward for this crew, and for those who wish to remain what it is you are signing up for, or rather, who it is you have signed up under. This ship does not belong to anyone here. It was found after being adrift for some time by under the most generous of definitions, a businessman. It was only through Dani's efforts that the ship was restored to working order and the shape you see today. But it was her boss, Otto, that claimed the rights to the ship, and for all intents and purposes, within the Hall of Concordance, it is. That does not mean necessarily that we answer to his beck and call. For a long while, we have been free to do as we pleased, as long as we returned to the city of Brass frequently and performed Otto's jobs admirably. Admittedly, that relationship has decayed somewhat, and we are maybe under a bit more strict watch. All this to say is that we will have to return to Brass in a short matter of time, if I remember correctly.
Pretty much immediately.
Yeah, we'll give it about a week, you estimate, before, now that your contract with Delphine is done, the payment is not renewed, and Otto will expect you to do or say something about that.
Yes. And, but that's broad strokes. That's high up. As I said, it honestly does not affect us too often day to day. What will is having to contend with the notion that a group of people have been forced out of their home, and through no fault of their own, another group of people have made it their home, and now that first group has returned. Kyana, I commend your efforts to trying to make sure that there is a home for all of us here. I just want to confirm that is what everyone wants. Or if that is what they do not want.
There's a pause. Virla, you hear Emmy in your head go, wow, that was like really good.
Emmy.
I've fulfilled my monologue of season quota, so.
Perfect. Get it out of the way early.
Yeah.
Immediately, like, as you hear that, Sierra, like, kind of, like, looks down at the second bowl that she's halfway through, then looks up to you and says, the mean guy owns the ship now?
Yeah.
Should I kill him?
See?
Once
she gets
again,
it.
we are not killing my uncle. I feel like I have to broach this subject so frequently these days.
Morality.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know if it was a bad idea.
Morals and ethics aside, he has not done anything illegal.
Not a bad idea. I've
Got the
heard worse.
boss seal of approval. That's how you know it's good.
Caleb scratches his chin, which is kind of a weird, like, metal on metal. As far as you know, Mechanites don't really itch. It's just kind of like a mannerism he has. Kind of scratches his chin, and he says, well, it sounds like it's a less than ideal setup, if we're going to keep using the nicest terms. What are you guys doing, if anything, about it?
Well, in all honesty, there hasn't been much we've been doing about it.
We've been a
We
little
have been a little bit busy
preoccupied.
finding you guys first.
Yeah.
I don't want to
Well,
make...
I mean, listen, not to put thank you. I would say that's a priority, definitely. I definitely appreciate that. They're not trying to, crack the reins on this or anything here. Because, gods know everything that's happened. But just, you put a problem out, where's the solution,
Yeah.
I will also reiterate that this has not necessarily been a problem until relatively recently. And so, as Kyana said, because we were preoccupied with finding you all, we haven't given a lot of thought whether this is something we should work against.
I mean, I'm in camp. We should definitely do that because, Dani, I know you like Otto, and that's fine. You can like Otto. I don't like Otto. He's
Otto's
mean.
fine.
Is he?
He's fine.
Like's a strong word, but he's manageable.
I don't know
Okay.
about manageable.
Personal relationships aside, he owns the ship.
Yeah.
That is my stance.
You see,
I mean-
go on, Finbar.
You're the smart one. That contract, it has to be a way out of it. That shit belongs to y'all. Y'all would be able to do half the things you do.
Eden gives like a short little like laugh when you say that, Finbar.
All I'm saying is what I see. I see a big happy family here aboard this ship, and it'd be a shame for all that to go away just because Otto likes his gold every once in a while and insists on pulling us along any which way he wants. So if there's a way to get that ship out from under him, I said we do it. Now, of course, if he wants us to do jobs for him, like, we could still do that, but I think it's got to be on our terms. It's only fair.
Caleb still like goes back to scratching again. There's kind of you kind of get this little, like his like I'm thinking through a problem kind of state of being, right? Where he kind of starts like his eyes move around like he's doing math in his head, and he's like, I mean, Hall of Concordance, it's a tough nut to crack, but it's certainly not like there's never been a law that's been broken in the universe. We got 50% of its chaos, so they figured something out.
Gonna make more bowls.
He just kind of starts like mumbling to himself. At which point, Eden stops stirring the food, puts a spoon down, slides the bowl forward a little bit, and says, "I'm sorry. This is all a problem we need to solve. Why? So this guy says he owns the ship, does own the ship. This is... Who cares?"
That is the other thing. Again, on a day-to-day basis, this does not affect us all that much.
Until we go back to brass, and then all of a sudden it does a lot. Is kind of how it seems to have gone.
Yeah. No, my question is why even that part matters. because it seems to me that the real owner of the ship died, and he didn't leave it to anyone.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that you guys are all masquerading with, you guys found the ship, and so it's yours, and Virla was on the ship, so it still belongs to him because he's stuck with it. But, I'm sorry, and Caleb starts to say something, she puts her hand up, she's, no, I'm sorry. I know that I was pissy yesterday from a lot, and I'm still pissy, and it's gonna take a long time for that to come down, and seriously, thank you guys for saving me, because I don't know what we would have done if you hadn't.
Fight therapy worked.
Why are we doing anything, but why are we pretending that this is anyone other than just some guy walking around with Virla's face, who says he owns the ship because he woke up on it, and some other dude who says he owned the ship because he bought it? As far as I'm concerned, there's one guy who owns the ship, and he's dead, so if the ship belongs anywhere, it's at the bottom of the sea with him.
I want you to take a look around at the state of the ship right now. I want you to go to the 2 rooms upstairs that look completely brand spanking new, and the engine that's in one goddamn piece. And then I want you to look me in the eyes and tell me that you think that the ship would be completely fine if I hadn't found it and with my own goddamn mind and hands fixed it up from scraps. Because right now, you wouldn't be saved, Virla over there would be turned off, and this would be a hunk of junk on the astral sea. So I don't care if you want to be pissy about it. This ship belongs to us, currently. We put our blood, sweat, and tears into it. It wouldn't be flying if I didn't fix it up every goddamn day. And Virla is the reason that it's flying currently. So it's his ship. It's not a hunk of junk anymore. He's not some rando. He bothered to save you. It's cost us so much. This ship matters. And it's ours.
Yeah. I heard a bunch of justifications on why you think it should belong to you. And all I'm saying is, I'm sure this Otto dude has the same ones. So...
What are you actually suggesting?
I'm suggesting that this isn't a problem we need to solve, and if you guys want us off the ship, we should just get going. Because it seems like we've stumbled into a bunch of drama, with a bunch of people we don't know fighting over something that belongs to none of them, and frankly, none of us either. Sorry, Sierra. Sorry, Caleb. Frankly, if there was anyone that Emerson was going to leave it to, the only person he probably trusted to keep it safe was Dexter, and look how that turned out.
Okay.
And after all this, Eden, I'm sorry, what do you want? What happens to you now? Where are you going? What do you plan on doing now that you're free?
She pauses for a moment. I'm just waiting to see which way the wind blows, so I know where to put my sail. She looks to Caleb now. He goes, look, we sleep, but we don't really sleep. I was, thinking about this a lot last night. And, gods know I miss this ship. I miss this ship a lot. And I miss the people that were on it. And I miss what we were doing. And I'm sure that those good old days, that I could come to find new ones here. But the Per Aspera wasn't my first home. It's not been my only home. I'll find more. There's a place... you don't know this anymore, Bela, but, I have a home in Mechanus in 2. It's not much, but it's just one I haven't been to in a while, and, I wasn't in any hurry to get back there, but now, maybe I should be hurrying. Maybe, Occam's razor is the easiest way to do this. Just find the simplest solution.
Whose razor?
Exactly. Occam. He's a very famous wizard. Do you know?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Occam's magnificent mansion,
Occam's
magnificent razor.
Occam's magnificent razor is a 9th level spell where you summon a giant blade.
Yep.
Reflavored blade of destruction.
You get the Buster Sword from Final Fantasy.
Yep.
Buster Sword. Buster Sword's out there, guys.
This is fair. You make a good point. There is a lot of baggage associated with both the passengers of the ship and the ship itself, but honestly, we could cut through that and just look at the options that we have. I am also not in favor of sinking this ship.
Wait, we were actually considering sinking the ship?
There's absolutely no
sink the
circumstances where the ship is getting sunk.
I do not want to devalue any option that is given to us, nor do I want to devalue anyone's opinions here.
I appreciate that, mate.
We will get to you later.
Everyone just turns slowly towards Vass.
Just very noisily
towards Vasily. Towards Voss standing menacingly in the doorway.
Like fancy water.
The options available to us are the old crew of the Per Aspera finds home elsewhere. Perhaps there has been a place you have called home before. But it could be that we simply return or try to return to some semblance of what was before. And the Dani, Kyana, and Finbar will remain on the ship as it is under Otto's purview. Another option, some or all of us comprise a new crew of the Per Aspera, and we learn this new dynamic. I will be honest, there are aspects that I do not know how to navigate. I do not know what it means to have 2 engineers on the ship. And so that will have to be one of the challenges that would traverse, but it is not impossible. And nor do I want to suggest that because it is difficult, it is not worth doing, because it absolutely is. This is also an option, and I will say it for the sake of things, but I'm personally not in favor of it necessarily. We give the ship to you. The crew of the Per Aspera back to their original owners.
Virla, but that's not your offer to make.
Yes.
No, it sounds like it's this Otto guys, honestly.
I mean, as long as the ship returns to Otto, I don't think he really cares who's on it.
I don't think he'd notice, to be completely honest. You're like, were you guys always Mega Knights? Yeah, okay.
I think you 3 he might not notice. I think he'd get a little weirded out if his one actual employee wasn't on the ship.
Yeah, that's true. He's gonna be weirded out that you're 9 inches taller too, but
He didn't notice when it turned blue. I don't think the inches of height are gonna make that much of a difference.
depends on if you're taller than him now.
But no, Dani makes a good point. I'm sorry.
Eden's right about one thing. We don't gotta make this decision right now. It seems that the next couple of days we gotta go see Otto, see what's going on with him. The next couple of days we gotta figure out where they're all going. You know, Eden, if you need someplace to be, someplace different from all this, if you need some time out, you can come to Sigil. I know plenty of people who will give you a job. It'll be hard work, but it'll be the kind of work that'll take your mind off of everything. Probably give you some time to get some money, figure out where to go next.
Or if you wish to return back home to Mechanus, we have the means to take you home. That is
true.
Well.
Yeah.
That too.
Eden says,
that goes for everybody.
I'm from Acheron, actually, but point taken.
Where did she say?
You're from
She
Acheron?
says she's from Acheron, actually.
No, we could take you there too.
Yeah, that would be what, third visit?
Yeah.
That raises a lot of questions, but also answers some of them as well.
Either way, all
There's
I'm saying
places
is
in Acheron that you can live.
Sigil sounds a lot better than that place, in my opinion. And then someone's got to do something about that poor girl.
You see, again, Caleb is like back investing in the conversation. He's like, yeah. I don't know what she needs, because mostly I fix ships, but she doesn't need a mechanic. That's for damn certain. So she needs someone who can fix people, who can fix her problem. I know she's from Elysium, but I don't want to just like dump her there, even though it's a pretty cool place. You know, do you guys know any?
Well, the monks here are very good at working through a lot of stuff, and are psychic, which could help bridge some communication gaps.
I don't really know her, but given how she seems to have spent the last 12 hours looking at stars in that room, I think the thing that she needs most is to be out on the astral sea in some form, and then wherever she goes from there, she goes.
Or perhaps with other people who worship the same god as her.
Yeah.
The thing is, she's been on the astral sea, technically. She hasn't been able to see the stars. It's just, I don't know if that helps her.
Well, I don't know about any of that, but
yeah.
Elysium sounds mighty nice right now.
It's a good point.
If y'all could.
While we're on it, why don't we do? If someone would like to make a religion check,
not it.
That would be totally groovy.
This feels like a religion.
If anyone wants to also make like a history or arcana check about what's up with Elysium, they can also do that.
This feels all like Virla rolls. I'm just gonna roll.
Fair enough. Well, Finbar might want to do a religion
Finbar
roll because he's also a god-fearing man.
Dani goes back to slurping up some soup. Angrier this time. The slurps are getting angrier.
Oh wait, I got the Foley. Hold on.
Okay, but do it. That was a great take. It needs more rage.
It needs more rage. Yeah.
Just like backwash it.
Let me try.
Even with a -2 in religion, that's a 17.
Yeah, you rolled better than me. I got a 13.
You got 13. Was that on a religion or check about Elysium?
I was going to... Well, Virla was kind of excited to kind of have an opportunity to maybe connect more with the divine side, so I would say that it was a religion.
So we'll call that your religion. If you'd also like to make a history or arcana check about Elysium, you can also do that. We got checks, baby. We got checks for days.
Much better. 22.
22? Okay, so first off, we'll do Elysium, then we'll move over to Saloon. So Elysium is the neutral good world. It's a world you have not been to. It is, like many of the good aligned planes, pretty pastoral. It's definitely a place that is thought of well, but there's somewhat of a catch with Elysium, which is that it's a place where people are kind of innately prompt, the same way that hell over time will prompt you to be like lawful evil, will prompt you to be cruel and deceitful and, cunning. It's a place that prompts you to be selfless. That also means that over time, because it's so strongly aligned, that it has a way of kind of like, not unmaking people, but kind of like pacifying them. So there's definitely a sense, there's not like a lot of civilization on Elysium, because when you make a town, what ends up happening is people just kind of like end up passing things to each other, and it becomes very ideal, and then it becomes very like, sort of, what's the word I'm looking for?
Post-scarcity communist utopia?
Yeah, it kind of becomes like post-big hippie drug Burning Man kind of thing, where everyone's kind of like, pleasure center is fried because everyone's like so kind, and then they all kind of just wander away, and the land is nice to them by its very nature, so they're just kind of like fed and taken care of. So to meet people from Elysium is pretty rare, because most of them kind of come out of there and hate it because it's not nice in the rest of the universe. So the fact that Aster is from there is kind of a testament to her strength of character.
Putting her back there would probably be an unkindness.
Yeah, well, you can bring her back because it would be, like, gentle to her again. But she would probably just kind of, like, be without guidance. Like, the world would just take care of her, right? Mm-hmm. So you could drop her there by herself, but she would just kind of, like, wander and be kind of, like, gently happy. If you guys also go there for too long, it's kind of the notion of, in mythology with, like, fairy food, where, like, if you eat, like, a berry, you're like, oh, human food tastes like cockroaches now. Where if you spend too long there and then you come out, you're like, oh, niceness was too nice, and now everything is hard and cold and sharp, right? So it's kind of like it's a really nice place to go, but the longer you spend there, like the more you kind of lose the greater chance you have of kind of like losing a little bit of yourself.
Like molasses, just like
yeah, exactly. So if you're planning to stay, it's actually a really nice place, but if you have any plans to like go or do anything or accomplish things, it's not as great. That's not true of all places in it. With the 22, you know that Mystra's realm is there, and it's not just a bunch of passive people there. So it's, it varies the same way that certain parts of hell vary, right? But that's the notion. Anyway, I talked for a long time. Religion check over to... You don't know any followers of Saloon, but Saloon is a neutral good god within... She's a near capital G, right? Mm-hmm. There are no, like, real capital G gods, but she's pretty damn close. She's one of the oldest. She actually might be the oldest. She and Shar are, like, the birth of the Planescape. So you know that she's, like, pretty old. She has a lot of gods that fall under her purview. This includes basically any gods of, like, light, compassion, duty, kindness, right? A lot of those gods report to her in a sense. So you do know that there might be like something to do there. You have met a rather high-ranking follower of a light god.
I was going to say, find Hans.
But on that note as well, the monks are also insightful, and you do know that there might be, like, if you leave her with Enoch, there might be, they've done good work with the with Kyana's old prison mates. So you do know that if you left her with them, then there's the chance that they would probably get her back on her feet, and she would be able to kind of decide what to do, right? So with that religion check, you're sort of facing two big options, which is like help her a little bit so she can really decide what to do for herself, or stick her with someone who might be better paired, but then you're kind of making a decision for her, right? So
I'm in camp. Let's get her back to the ability to make decisions for herself before making any decisions for her.
It does seem rather weird to she already seems in sort of a state of extreme trauma and unable to sort of communicate what she wants fully, to put her in Elysium where that would simply, it's not that it would amplify her like inability to communicate, it's more that, from what I understand, she has no need to communicate because whatever she needs is provided for her. And so the muscles, the mental muscles that she needs to make decisions and decide whether something is good or bad will atrophy. And that seems really gross.
It does sound like kind of a nightmare.
Yeah, there's definitely that sense. So, and I will say, we're still in this conversation, but as far as decisions go, the way we're going to play this out is you guys have 1 week before you need to be back with Otto. So if you want to go places, if you want to do things, we can do little vignettes. It's not like, for example, if someone is leaving today, they have to leave this minute, but over this as we play this week out, they will leave at some point, right? If that's the decision they make, for example. So
yeah, I suppose, to put the word of God into the world, I will communicate that generally, that we don't have to make this decision now. Perhaps it can be something that we individually can think on as we do the work that the ship was meant to do. Which brings me to you, and I turn to look at Voss.
Oh.
He smiles back, jagged teeth, sharp, says,
I love this gross motherfucker.
Hello. I'm glad that you are no longer in the hold of the Githyanki, but I can only speak for myself. I don't trust you.
I knew you were a smart one. Yeah, right on the money.
That being said, provisionally, as long as you don't, for whatever reason, backstab us, is there somewhere that you would like to go? You have mentioned your home in Eastgard.
I can't backstab you if I don't have a sword, and
you will find a way.
If you drop me off at Eastgard, I can get my sword, then I'll come back, and if you want, I can backstab you.
How about we just take you to Eastgard and leave you there?
That works too. Yeah.
Or if there's somewhere else you wanted to go, we usually pit stop in Sigil. I don't know if that's also preferred.
Surely really you just want to take the most expedient route home off this ship.
I like the ship. It's a nice ship. You run a nice ship. All you seem like perfectly nice people.
So far he's saying the things I like the most. I see no reason why this can go poorly.
You got your own issues to work out. Not my problem. I won't overstep my boundaries. Nothing like that. But I would very much like the sword. And if you ever need anything from me, you all seem like a lot of fun. Don't hesitate to hit me up.
I will keep it deep at the back of my mind.
And when you go meet your captain, don't tell him about me. If it helps, if you ever take the assassination route, just makes my life easier.
Sure.
How's Dani feeling now?
So tired. Slurp more soup up.
So
everyone wants to sink my ship or kill my uncle.
You know that meme
How
of
about-
like the soldier like T-posing and like taking all the missiles and arrows into his back while he's guarding the bed of sleeping people.
Uncle Otto,
Standing with
Dani.
Uncle Otto tucked in the bed. Justified death threats. Dani.
why don't we do the thing that is most readily apparent and available, and take Voss home? And everyone else can think and ruminate on the options set forward to them today.
Yeah.
Alright.
Anybody want to come with me? It'd be nice. I can show you around. Take a break from
Sierra
all
looks
this.
to Caleb, and he looks back and it gives a short little no shake of his head.
No, just me then. Oh, bloodless Voss.
I wish we had
Alone
time.
again? I see how it is. It's alright. It's perfectly
Do
alright.
what? If you don't have time, whatever.
Well,
Wait.
it's Eastgard. We've never been there. That sounds really
I see.
exciting.
We're still going.
Vera
We're not
will
gonna like
awkwardly
push him
excuse
through
You
the
don't really have time
portal
for an
and dip.
adventure, but
Wait. You're the girl who likes to fight everybody, right?
Yeah.
You want to fight? Right now?
Like now?
Yeah.
Not in the kitchen.
Get me a sword. Somebody.
Not in the dining room.
Please get me a sword, please.
Go up on deck if you're going to do that, if at all.
you can summon a sword if you want. There's also a sword in the bag of holding.
We're not gonna give him the great silver sword.
We could.
Speaking of, it's been enough time that
Oh,
she's
yeah.
I was
that
gonna
she's like
clean it out after breakfast.
asphyxiated,
Can
right?
you guys chill? I'm eating my soup.
We have to go clean out the garbage disposal. Just among us, that thing.
Just push her over into limbo.
Well, let me know if you need to fish a war chief or whatever her rank was. I don't think we will be able to do that unless I shrink her.
I could reduce
I believe
her.
she was a Kithrak. Well, you can't get her body out without shrinking. Well, if she's dead, you could probably break it a bunch, but if you want, you can just leave the body in there and take the sword out, because the sword will come
I
right
want
out.
the space
All you have to do
back.
is reach in and think of the sword, and you'll get the sword.
Yeah, like the weight
How long
and the
does
volume.
shrink last?
An hour.
Like,
Alright.
yeah, an hour.
Danny
It's
will
like way over.
take out the bag of holding and like hold it over to be able to just shrink her now. I'll clean it out after breakfast and deal with whatever.
Okay, hold on. Thinking realistically, how long has it been?
It's been.
How long has it been? Many hours. You guys slept.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so she has for sure asphyxiated
Yeah,
and
she's for
died.
sure
She's-
dead.
She's for
Probably.
sure dead.
Barring any superhuman, like things you don't know about, any normal biological being would have suffocated long
I
ago.
will
at
not
this
put it
point.
past her. All right, anyway.
We can still get the
Air
sword out
generosity
whenever
don't
we
need to
want.
breathe, for example. So
Yeah.
they would be fine in there.
Let's not do this in the dining room. Danny, do you want to do this?
I was
So-
gonna
In
the
go
engine room?
up.
By the way, everyone gets a long rest. If you didn't already,
Yay.
what you're gonna have to do is think of her,
Yes.
reach in, pull out part of her dead body, then cast shrink on it,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
pull the rest out.
Yeah.
This is so gross. I don't want to think about it. Let's go fist fight Voss.
Ding ding.
Yeah.
Let's go to some other nondescript
I was just
place.
gonna go up on the deck and literally throw her overboard. It's like an
You
endless
know what?
void beneath us. I figured that would probably suffice.
You know what? Perfectly valid. Let's go.
Voss watches as you do this. You
I
dump
will-
a high-ranking member of his society overboard.
First, I loot her pockets.
Yeah, I want to take that armor off her and stuff.
I'm having no part in this.
Yeah, okay.
Well, okay, first of all, actually, order of operations. I want to take the greatsword out first. At the very least, if she's still alive, I want to deprive her of a weapon.
You reach in, think with the greatsword, close your hand, cut it as you grab what is the end of the blade,
Fuck.
and lift out. And you realize the reason it's giving you the end is because still attached
Fuck.
to the handle is just the frozen hand, just the
Okay.
rigor mortis hand of the Gith Yankee Supreme Commander.
I will unwrench the fingers from the hilt, keep it so that I can do this dark bidding. I'm gonna toss the sword to Kyana and say, "There you go."
Can I have the other half?
Other half?
Yes. You pulled two things out.
Oh no!
Sword and an arm.
You're not making a case. You're not making a very strong case for me to like you. I'm so sorry.
Was that supposed to be?
I don't know. I don't know you. You baffle me, Githyanki.
Does this count as the end of my long rest so I can use dedicated weapon, my monk ability, on this sword?
Let's go ahead and say that you're gonna have to use dedicated weapon. You're gonna this fight you're not used to. It's gonna be your first time ever using a greatsword.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, we're just.
I didn't want to fight Voss with the silver greatsword.
I don't see why not, mate.
I think, in all fairness, and I think Kyana does want to fight fairly. We will have to give you a sword.
Oh, we're going to fight okay. Okay, yeah, we could do that.
This is not.
Anyway,
that whole conversation is happening. Dani is fully just completing the task of cleaning out the bag of holding, and the other right behind Virla. Like it's overboard. She's gone. We're done.
I've pulled her out.
Yeah.
I've dispelled Shrink. I'm in the process of doffing her armor. This is
you take her.
This is
I can
dark.
double check what kind of armor she has. It's non-magical, but it is. Hold on. I believe she's wearing plate. So it's silver plate with with red ruby studded. Hold on.
My thought is if there was ever a need for us to impersonate a Githyanki again, then we need this on hand and it would be useful.
How much does the armor cover? I feel like a disguise would just.
Well, like someone with disguise self. No, does that work? Like
Not
disguise
really.
You can
self
make your armor
and
look
then
like whatever. So
armor on.
The problem with disguise self is that it does not hold up to physical inspection. So theoretically, listen, it doesn't cost you anything to. I mean, it's kind of a pain in the ass to get it off this stiff body, but other than that, it doesn't cost you anything. So you might as well have it, because if you do need to disguise self, you can put on actual armor that would, hold up to a physical inspection.
So it's just plate armor.
Yep. So you can go ahead if you want to put plate armor into your inventory, and then in the notes just write Githyanki, because it has a very specific and distinct style.
She got anything else on her?
I won't have you roll an investigation check. Sadly, she does not.
Overboard it is.
It's not like she was out adventuring, so she wears her armor, carries her sword, and she's got clothes underneath if you want.
No.
She's got she got kind of like a cool ruby headband.
Okay.
I guess it would technically be part of the armor, but you could just wear it if you wanted to.
Actually, I just had a thought. Virla can wear heavy armor now.
What?
Virla can wear heavy armor.
As a cleric.
You need a certain. What's your strength?
Fuck. 13.
That might be high enough for plate. Hold on.
Plate? I don't know.
A tanky wizard is just the only thing passing through my mind right now. So
plate is 15, sadly.
Fuck.
So,
all right,
you can wear it. I think you just can't cast spells or
be useful.
And your speed is halved or something, or make attacks or something like that.
Yeah. All right, fair enough.
Yeah, just stick it back in the bag. I'm gonna go back downstairs and go to bed while Kyana and that guy do whatever it is that they're doing. You guys got it handled great. Yeah, whatever.
I'm about to get stabbed by a sword. If you want to see that, be really cool.
I'm not gonna stab you. This sword is really dangerous.
You can if you want to.
I appreciate that.
I'm saying you can. It's not.
No, I want to get a feel for it first. But
fair enough.
Yep.
Well, Aster, you guys are on the deck. You've cleared out the bag of holding. Are you guys going to spar? Do you actually want to do a play-by-play, or is this sort of a it's
more of
a descriptive fight that you might
just
want
a little
to.
spar, just for shits and gigs.
Cool. No one's actually really trying to hurt each other.
No.
Too bad. So we know how Kyana fights, which Kyana, if you want, you could imagine a buffer for your sword if you wanted to, kind of put some padding on it so that
pool noodle.
Yeah, basically, you could put a pool noodle around it so that you can hit him with it if you want to give it a try.
I don't want to do a nerf sword fight. I'll figure out the sword later.
Okay. So if you're going fists, how does Voss fight?
He his movements he uses to feign his actual strength. So he moves fairly quickly, and the second he closes the gap, you can tell that he puts an enormous amount of power behind each of his swings. And you know that he's a bard, and in between, when he takes a step back to recuperate, he takes out the harmonica, he toots out a note, recuperates his mind, and goes right back in with the same astonishing amount of speed and power you wouldn't expect for someone who's so pale and gaunt.
He's like an Elric-looking motherfucker now that I think about it. Very cool.
Well, I do like the little doots for encouragement. That's a very fun way to do it. Yeah, I think it's just a lot of like dodging and rolling, you know, just basically mobility training against because he's I assume. Well, I'm not gonna assume that Voss is stronger than me, but definitely taller with more reach. So it's just unless I pull out the arms. It's good strong. It's stretching. It's good stuff.
Definitely not stronger than you, but he can keep up in terms of speed.
Yeah.
I imagine there's a sense that he's magically augmenting himself as well.
I mean,
right?
obviously.
So, yeah.
I
But
saw
very
the
cool to
spooky heart
fight,
thingy.
you know. It's
You know what we
often...
can do? He's going to try to grapple and pin you down.
Ooh, does that work?
Go for it. This is contested, so if you don't have the arms out, you can make an acrobatics check.
Okay.
You could also make athletics, but it would just be with your strength. Which
It's no arms out today. It's good to practice without them. I rolled a nat 1, which is a shame because my acrobatics is really good.
I rolled really well. I rolled a 27.
Shockingly for someone, seemingly as frail, not only, you know, he's quick, you think you're quicker, and yet his speed and strength deceives you again, and he's able to, I don't know how you pin her, but, you know, he brings you down to the ground with a grapple.
Hang out in Eastguard.
It's simple, behind the head, gets your face down onto the ground, somehow eases his foot onto your back and stands up, says, quite the fighter, can't wait to see you in Eastguard.
Push up.
He catches him off guard, he steps back, says, all right, and then he helps you the rest of the way up.
Yeah.
Very cool. At this point, Virla, you finish taking the armor off. It's a bit of a process. Are you just getting rid of the body?
Yeah.
Dani threw it overboard.
Okay,
so
That's
long.
gone. That's gone.
You put body up on the railing, grab the heels, throw it over. You turn around, and Enoch is standing like 10 feet away, having just watched you do the whole thing.
What are you looking at? Actually, more accurately, don't worry about it.
I don't know what you saw. I would advise you to just eject it from your mind.
They just threw a Supreme Commander off board.
I don't like you. Officially, now.
It's okay. It's okay. The Githzerai all stuck up anyways. You wouldn't have gotten past them.
I think I previously mentioned
Indeed.
going back to bed. I think I'm going to go through with that and see the situation get awkward.
He just kind of watches you go, Dani. Kyana, this is, Voss helps you up here.
Yep.
At this point, Enoch turns to Virla and says, seeing like everyone else kind of occupied, turns to Virla and says, I take it everyone has slept well?
Everyone has slept.
Indeed. Well, I suppose that's more than could be hoped for given all the circumstances. I don't mean to put any pressure on you. As you know, I'm here to help with whatever you might require. However, the presence of a Githy Yankee, even one who is a refugee from the Queen Vlokith, this close to the Adamantine Citadel, does make everyone nervous. So, if you have a venture in mind, whether one I could help with or not, I would request you bring me up to speed so that I can ease their consciences and anxieties.
We're going to be dropping him off in Eastguard.
I kind of put a half a hand up and I'm just like,
Yes.
you and I are of the same mind on this. Do not worry. You are correct. He has no he holds no love for the Gith Queen. That being said, his crest was in Eastguard, and that is where he wishes to return. So that will be our first task of the day. Enoch, you did not need to accompany us. Your help was invaluable, but I do not... Whatever debts you may think you have to this crew have been paid 7-fold, 11-fold. If you wish, you can make the reason that you do not wish to be near a Githyanki refugee or not. We will not hold it against you, and in fact, I think most of us here would encourage that you go home and not feel like you need to be beholden to us. Don't get me wrong, we love your presence here.
I love you too, mate.
He looked at the nasty look.
I fully just flip him off.
You see, Enoch turns to you and says,
Trying to be friendly. Okay.
This guy's fantastic.
your words ease my conscience, but not my heart. I consider our debt through, but you have a lifelong friend of me, if that was not clear. He places a hand on your shoulder. If that was not clear before, let it be so now.
Yes.
If you require anything, at any time, you need merely send to me.
We absolutely will do so. It was clear before. Now it is invisible. I don't do metaphors well.
It is an honor to be considered part of your Rakma.
Oh! If we're basically leaving Limbo, I'm gonna bow to Enoch and then give him a big hug.
He does the bow and he does the hug.
Yes.
There's only the smallest moment of hesitation where it's not something he often does. But even though they are aesthetics, they are not, the Githzerai monk are not detached from emotion, right? I actually kind of think of like the airbenders, right? Where there's definitely a sense of like detachment from worldly possession and spirituality about the about the individual, but there's also a great deal of like joy that they take in general, right?
They can hug people. It's okay.
They can hug people. That's what I mean to say.
Yeah.
They can hug. So he gives you a hug as well. I will say, if you guys are departing and you would discuss this, if you wanted to leave Aster here, this would probably be the time. But if you want to take her with you, then
And this was
don't
the
worry
option for they can probably help her kind of get back to.
Yeah, they can help her get her bearings, and then you know that they also travel interplanar, so probably it wouldn't be too big a deal to get her somewhere else.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
I want to confirm with the Eden, Caleb,
crew.
and Sierra what they're thinking. I thought that we could return to Limbo if we, made that decision later on.
We still have the tuning fork, but we do also have a week deadline, basically.
That is true. Yeah. So, I will go. I'll go back to the dining room where I presume the other Mechanites are, and I will sort of say, just on the order of Aster. It will put us on a bit of a tighter time schedule, but possible nonetheless if we were to return to Limbo in the future. But have we made a decision? Sorry, have you made a decision as to whether you would like where you would like to have Aster as she recuperates? I do not want to make a decision on behalf of you all. Eden, I may not have used it in the same words, but your sentiment is correct. As much as I would hate to admit it, and as much as I would love an opportunity to rebuild that Virla you knew. But for now, this decision is yours.
Eden can't really let out a snort because she doesn't breathe, but kind of gives that notion, but doesn't say anything. Just kind of stands there, guarded, arms folded. Been a couple hours. She has not fully come around.
Eden and I are gonna have a strongly worded conversation.
Really, what happens is Sierra and Caleb look at each other, and Caleb says, "I mean, we don't feel any differently. We're all. It's nice that you say all that, but we're all over our heads when it comes to this problem. If you think this is a good place, we trust your judgments. You're the only one who has any idea. You guys are the only ones who have any ideas. So, if you think this is a good place, then we trust you with it. I mean, it's not like we haven't heard of Githzerai. They're pretty famous for this kind of stuff. So,
yeah.
I think people who can get her on her feet are good, and you know this place. You know these people. It seems like you can get back here pretty easily if you ever need to return for her."
I will admit, we have it in good with the Githzerai. I cannot imagine of any safer place then. Provided that...
You hear, as you say a safer place, outside you hear... It's just a fireball erupts out of nothing.
Provided she stays in the Citadel.
The whole ship kind of sways a little bit. He goes, yeah, that's, I don't know if she's going to do a lot of wandering off. So.
Deep in the Citadel. Okay. I will go then talk to Enoch and make arrangements to have Aster stay here.
Enoch is more than happy to have that done. He says, I will speak to the leader of my Rakma immediately. We'll see about putting her in touch with Manyar immediately. Perhaps he might be able to reach more deeply than any of the others. She seems a treasured friend. You have my word, she will be taken care of.
Thank you. And I don't know if this will be a fruitful endeavor, but I want to do it nonetheless. I want to go to Aster and ask her. Or rather, just sort of our intent is to leave you in limbo here. You will be well cared for, and it will be with the goals that they can help you stand back up again on your own. I don't know. We want to do what's best for you. I'm not going to force you to do anything.
I'd like you to make another persuasion check, but I'd like you to do it with your wisdom score instead of your charisma score.
Sure.
As you try to touch her with compassion rather than any force of personality.
17.
17. She doesn't say anything. She briefly takes her eyes off what she's looking at, looks you in the eye, looks back up in the other direction of the stars, and then takes a step forward and gives you a hug.
I hug her too. Okay.
You lead her out, and Enoch welcomes her with 2 hands, takes hers, and then leads her off. Gives one more bow to Kyana, a nod to Virla, a nasty look to Foss, and then safe travels, my friends.
Yes.
May whoever you find yourself up against make peace with their gods.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
All right, how do we get to
He
Eastgard?
departs, and the
How to get
gangplank.
out of limbo, first of all.
You can plane shift back to the Astral Sea.
True.
You just gotta sail to an Eastgard portal.
Well, no, it hasn't been 24 hours, has it? Because we plane shifted to limbo,
Uh,
right?
say that there's
technically
been enough
not.
time.
Yeah, but you guys, it's been you guys slept and then you did breakfast and you talked and you've been fighting. So
had a day.
Alright, fair
some
enough.
more systems checks. Some more systems checks could be done, and if there's any other conversations people want to have. But otherwise, it seems like there is no more status quo to update, and so we will just.
I actually did have one more thing. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, please, no, don't be sorry.
Uh,
We're playing D&D, man.
Whether it's running diagnostics or getting us out of the way, I would ask Kyana to help to take the first shift piloting.
Sure.
I want to go visit Dani.
Yeah.
Honk shoe. Me,
Cool.
me, me. Danny is
Well,
out.
Yeah.
why don't we
Danny's still
say
out?
I died.
some
Well, she
time
went back-
passes. Danny was
I was
dead.
fully
so.
dead.
Danny's allowed
why
to
don't-
sleep. I'm just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't we say a little
Finbar
bit
would
of
have
time
been like
passes?
cleaning up in the kitchen, and he would have seen like Virla come down. And you can tell he's trying to go talk to Dani. No, she's asleep. Just let her sleep. Also, I imagine Sierra's helping me wash dishes.
Aw.
Normally,
Oh
like,
yeah, Sierra's totally the kind of person who's like, oh, you need dishes? Yeah, I got dishes. So
it's,
yeah,
it's just a
Sierra's-
conga line of
Dishwasher for you?
fairies, Finbar,
Yeah.
Sierra.
amazing. So Virla, are you gonna go in or no?
I want to knock, but even if I don't get an answer, I'm just kind of gently let myself in. Just kind of like what is that line from Fairly Odd Parents? I'm knocking to like respect your privacy, but as a parent, I'm coming in anyway, or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, good reference. Yeah. So up, this is Dani and Virla. You, Dani, I'll say you hear a knock.
Yeah,
at
you
the
knock
door.
and you hear it. I'm up.
Does she fall out of the panicking?
Of course, every time. Every morning she does.
There's a little crater under it.
She's an artificer. If she wanted to build a bed with posts and shit, she could.
This
but
is more convenient.
no, a
cheaper
tarp
than an
tied
alarm
between
clock.
two posts.
What's up?
I kind of want to check to see if that cuckoo clock that I gave her has been worked on at all. Has it?
Dani worked on the clock.
Lately? Since like yesterday?
Like at all. At all.
I mean, I assume when she got it, she fiddled with it a bit, but I think we've been a bit preoccupied with other stuff.
Yeah.
So she hasn't
Fair
had
enough.
too much time to like really dive into it.
Dani's off the clock right now.
I know that the day's discussions have been about very large logistical things. But you died. And I didn't want to brush that aside. I don't know. I don't know. I can only say that the idea that you died doing something that I had asked the crew to do, that hurt. Hurts isn't. I feel a lot of guilt towards that, and I can't imagine that everyone casually saying to steal the ship back from Otto or to kill him would necessarily help and assuage your feelings. We don't have to get into anything right now. I just want to let you know that I hear you. I'm with you on this. We rescued my old crew, but you are my oldest friend.
Aww. Daddy. I appreciate it. I don't know what the answer to the ship's problems are, but I've been surviving for a lot longer than just about anyone on this ship has. I'll keep doing it. Try not to let the guilt eat you up too much. We're all alive now. Everyone's on board the ship who's got to be on the ship. We're gonna do what we gotta do, and hopefully things will be back to normal before we know it.
Just with a little bit new perspective. And I kind of look up at her.
You're still taller than her, but...
Yeah.
It's like eye level now.
Yeah.
It's, how tall is Virla?
6'9", he's the funny number.
Right, he's 6'9".
Yeah.
So you're almost a foot taller than her, but you were almost 2 feet taller than her.
God.
So...
I'm gonna have to make some adjustments to some of the trapdoors, but I think that this will be a minor setback in the scope of the ship's repairs.
Let me know if you need help, and I'd be happy to help you and work on it with you. But it's up to you. Maybe you want some things to be kept secret on this
Yeah, I
ship.
appreciate the sentiment, but those trapdoors, they live up here. And Dani points to her head.
Okay. It's been about 2 months of me keeping secrets from the group. I don't want to leave things unsaid anymore now. And that's the last thing I'll say before I leave.
That's so clearly the lead up to say, what did you... That sounds like you're gonna say a secret. You have to understand that.
What? No, I'm serious. I don't have anything anymore.
A likely story.
Oh, shit. No, actually, fuck. I may have... Okay, you can't tell anyone. Okay, you actually can't tell anyone about this.
Pinky promise.
Pinky promise.
Virla walks out, walks back in.
I may have...
Walks back in.
I may have entered a contract with the devil.
What?
Please tell me I hear that through a trapdoor.
With a passive perception of 22.
Finbar hears just the what.
Oh, okay. Am I?
I'll be honest, it was such... oh man, I was really in a fucked up place if that secret got eclipsed by an even bigger secret that I completely forgot about it.
When was this?
This was during our sabbatical when Otto had sort of like landlocked us.
Oh.
Maxim had asked my help for something, and it was to extract information out of a lore devil. For legal reasons, I cannot tell you his real name. But I'm trying to now scan my memory. Is there anything stipulating that I can't say what the contents of the contract were? I just can't give out.
I believe no.
Okay.
Obviously, I don't have the recording right in front of me.
Yeah.
But I believe no, and if there is, then we'll say that you skip around the details that could not be exposed. But yeah,
Sure.
Go ahead and explain.
Yeah. The exchange was effectively an old forgotten spell that is the shrink spell. That is the thing that I got from the Lord Devil. In exchange, in addition to not giving anyone else his true name, for legal reasons, if at any moment there was someone that I desired to kill, and the opportunity was immediate and available, he could, at that moment, have me not kill them.
Oh, that's not so bad.
That is the exchange.
So you gotta just be murderous enough with people you don't have high emotional stakes for, and eventually he's gonna pop that off. Or just sit on it forever,
Yes.
and then you're good.
In fairness, I haven't really been the one to kill many people lately.
I was gonna say, you should have gotten
it's
Kyana
been-
under contract. Would have been awesome.
It's been mostly Kyana, so that I'm actually kind of okay with this. But legitimately full Also, Mistra might have plans for me. I don't know what those plans are.
That's God stuff.
I feel like that's kind of less of a secret
Yeah.
because I'm in the dark as well. I'm so sorry,
We're doing
Dani.
full transparency. I dominated in an illegal street race during our time off, so the Hellrider might need
What
some
the
tuning
fuck?
up.
That's awesome. Why didn't you tell me? Wait, why wouldn't you want to tell anyone?
That's where do you think I got all the patches for the jacket from?
Oh.
Yeah, illegal street races give out patches and surprises.
I see, and there's one patch that says, like, City of
Number
Shreds
one race.
2023 drag race
she got a
winner.
goodie bag with a patch, her race number, a Cliff Bar, and some shop blocks.
They've gentrified drag races now. There's no
Yeah.
way for
Yeah.
the rest of us.
That's pretty cool. That's a lot cooler than... Yeah.
I know.
So you use the bike?
Yeah, Hellrider. It works great. I totally know what everything on it does.
Sure, I'll take your word on that. Anyway, that's just kind of all I wanted to say. I think, legitimately, there is nothing else secret that you don't know.
Can I ask what it is that you want now? Because I guess in my mind, we deal with everyone's baggage, and then we get to just go back to being the adventuring crew of the Per Aspera. But I don't know if it sounds like that's what everyone necessarily wants. And I kind of want to prime myself for whatever's coming next.
I'm going to be completely honest. My mind over these last few months and a little bit over 2 months has been very much occupied with one singular goal that I kind of didn't stop to think about what the situation would be afterwards. I need to take some time to think about that myself, but gut impulse, I want that as well. I guess I kind of foolishly thought that there were other homes that, they could go home to, and we could just go back to doing what it was we were doing. But you're right, that might not be the case. We might... I think, speaking honestly, I think the end goal is the same. The adventuring crew of the Per Aspera. It's just that the composition of the crew of the Per Aspera might change. I am sure of this, though. I'm not going anywhere. To dip back into a bit of bleakness, I died on the ship once. If I were to die again, it will be on this ship.
It makes two of us, buddy.
Yeah!
Super healthy attitudes in the ancient
Yeah,
room tonight.
everyone's good here. No one think too hard.
Just a big handshake. Coping.
Well, okay, then let's shift this to a more positive light. I'm not going anywhere. And if you're not, then that means that we have each other.
Literal hand clasp for solidarity.
You
It's
son
at this
of a
point,
bitch.
you feel the plane shift, power up, and within a few moments, you guys are on the astral sea. Destination in mind,
everything makes
with
sense.
with some navigation from your starman, be able to lead you to a portal to Easgard in, literally speaking, no time.
Right, yeah.
So, in a,
Is it just the next?
in a
Oh, well,
brief enough
'Cause the
period.
I
astral
understand.
state,
I understand.
yeah.
Yeah. Is it the
Still
next notch up
sulking.
from?
What's up?
Is it the next notch up? Like, where is Eastguard?
It's the next notch down. Eastguard is... is it?
No,
Eastguard
is not chaotic neutral.
It is up, you're right. Eastguard is closer to Arborea.
Planescape, available now on the Rolling with Difficulty.
So pull up the map of the Planescape.
We're at 3 o'clock. Eastguard is like 2-ish o'clock. Like where the hour hand would be if it was 1:30.
Eastguard is literally one up from Limbo. It's between Limbo and Arborea.
Yeah.
Oh, so it is actually like...
Yeah, it's right next
It's pretty close. There's
legitimately 12
and then
parsecs.
the next one down is Limbo, and then it's the Abyss. I was placing too many guys in there.
Limbo is the pure chaos, and then it looks like Arborea is chaotic good, and Eastguard is between those two.
Yes, it's between chaotic good and true chaos.
Yeah, one down from Limbo
neutral.
is Pandemonium, and we don't want to go there.
We go in the opposite direction.
Yeah, Pandemonium is the maddening winds of Pandemonium.
I don't know, it'll be fun.
It's a good time. So you guys set sail. Take some time. People go about their business the best way that they can. It's, you've got 4 people staying on your ship who are essentially like house guests when you guys have to go to work and do stuff, right? So they're just kind of like, everyone's got jobs to do, and they're kind of like, oh, I guess I'll I don't know, you got like a dartboard or something?
You can poke around in the cargo hold.
I uploaded a recording of Home Alone 2 Lost in Sigil to the projection room.
Yeah.
You could go IMAX it,
Finbar leaves snacks, obviously.
Funny.
I
think Viral is going to be like, when he's not piloting the ship at least, he's going to be like the awkward house guest who literally, I think all he's doing is kind of staying in his room, just kind of like twiddling his thumbs a bit, kind of ruminating on the events, and then just kind of like coming back to like, are you sure you guys don't need anything? I can give you guys whatever you need. He's just very awkward about this whole situation.
I'm waiting for Eden to be loudly sulking near enough for me that I can open up conversation about her issues, but I'm not going to force anything, so...
She's not super open. If you're not looking to force anything, an easy open does not come. So it's up to Kyana if she wants to push harder or hold back.
I think I just want to get a feel for whether she actually wants to leave the ship or not, because she seems awfully determined to make somebody else make that decision for her, presumably so she can then be butthurt at them instead of herself.
Man, Red continues to roll nat 20 insight checks against
me
as a DM.
I'm just trying to figure out, if this if giving her an enemy is better, or letting her figure out that the true enemy is herself is better.
I don't want you to roll an insight. I just want you to take an inspiration for.
Oh hell yeah!
Kyana, literally completely clocking what is going on with Eden. How you approach that is entirely up to you, but go ahead and mark down an inspiration for yourself.
My charisma.
Dang.
Hey, you got a charismatic guy on board now if you want to get him involved.
No, he's not.
I
insult
picked
to
intimidation
me, Dani, with my extremely high charisma.
Yeah.
He is intimidating, I'll give you that.
I think I am just going to be, whenever Eden is within earshot, so that I can justify that I'm just friendly talking to her, I will be enumerating various fun things that we've done, with a wide range. So fighting in the Coliseum, that was super exciting, and that one time I climbed that really tall tower in Sigil. Man, I never thought I'd get to see views like that when I was in the Tenebris Cenobium, and all that. It's just kind of boy, the world is sure vast and amazing. A lot of fun things you can do. Pretty crazy.
Yeah, so you should regale this woman who was in prison for 3 years up until 12 hours ago.
A lot of
with all the fun,
possibilities.
exciting things you've done. Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
Look how free I was in this time.
And critically, after I was imprisoned underground, knowing nothing except training and what turned out to be a mind flayer conspiracy.
Yeah,
if we're comparing tragic backstories, I'm not trying to have a sad measuring contest with her.
That's
what was it? Persuasion?
Job.
Yeah, go ahead and make a persuasion.
Oh, a tasty +1 on that. But I rolled an 18, so 19.
There we go.
19. You start regaling her. You mention the Coliseum. She smiles a little bit. She goes, oh man, I had almost forgotten about that place. You don't know. That's where we picked up Sierra, actually.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
Is she a gym member?
Yeah, she's from Sigil, so.
Oh. That's awesome.
It was a good time. I'm lucky I didn't have to fight her. They just kind of let you, we just got a guest pass, so I didn't have to fight her in the ring. Thank goodness.
But it's so
Part of me
fun.
wonders, would that have been better? But a smarter, more self-preservation based part of me is happy I didn't. So
It's a learning experience,
But,
and if you win,
good for
you
you.
get the great spa treatment. It's so relaxing.
Ward off the
It's like
pain.
more fun after it hurts.
it's more fun after it hurts. You can see like there's like there's an upsetting moment where a lot happens where she hears it, understands it, agrees with it, and then realizing she agrees with it, begins to self-reflect on how she should feel about that.
Everything Kyana learned from that manual of bodily health, concerning. Concerning.
Yeah, it turns out if you do something damaging enough, your body releases a lot of these tiny dolphins, and they make you feel great.
I'm sorry. Oh, okay.
Endorphins!
That was really close to a spit take.
Everything made a lot more sense once I learned about the tiny dolphin thing.
They're called midichlorians.
But are you in dolphins? I don't know.
The powerhouse of the cell.
There's definitely a sense
Andrea.
you totally you've hit the nail on the head in terms of like what she's waiting for, which is to not have to choose what she's going to do, because that is far more terrifying than just being angry about what's going on, right?
Yeah.
What's happening to her. But you do get a sense there's a lot of hostility here, but that as she comes down from being in a prison cell, the general anger that she has had deflected sort of unanimously and uncritically at everyone has kind of toned it down to just like a seething kind of like frustration at the situation, right?
Yeah.
And so as you come at her genuinely with these stories, she is also able to connect. If you were to push deeper on a more sensitive subject, unclear how that would react. But certainly here there is a sense that a lot of that just rage has sort of evaporated a little bit.
That's good. I think I want to once I see that approach is actually kind of connecting, I want to very slightly re-angle to the idea that it's very freeing and cool to be able to do and be a lot of different things, that you don't necessarily need to choose one thing and then that's you forever, that you can try things and add things, and you can stop being something that you have been for a long time, and that thing is still a part of you. And just like you can get rid of a lot of choice paralysis by being aware of the fact that you can be and contain multitudes and you're still going to be you. I don't know. She seems like she's going through it. I'm not going to play full therapist. I have to fucking fly the ship, but like,
How do you express that sentiment, or is that exactly how you... Not is that verbatim how Kyana says it,
Yeah.
but are those the sentiments she shares fully?
I think it mostly centers on when I started taking levels of barbarian, and kind of realized like, this is the way I've been taught to fight my entire life, and branching out from that, baby steps. It's still a way to fight, but it's a different way to fight, and then you can do things that aren't even fighting, and I wasn't ready to do that when I first left the Cenobium, and that was okay. And I became ready after I tried a bunch of things and learned and spent time traveling, and it was all right that I wasn't ready to make that decision before, and it was also all right that I was ready to make that decision later after doing a bunch of different things. Because we have time. That's kind of the beauty of it.
Kind of ponders, she says, I appreciate what you're saying. Honestly. She says honestly, it kind of sounds like she's still being like, there's like kind of an edge to it, but you do get the sense that deeper, that's kind of how she talks. Deeper down, she does mean it. She says, I appreciate what you're saying. Honestly. But I've only known how to do the one thing. I've only ever been one thing. And I don't know if I'm gonna be happy sucking at something else.
Well, being angry at sucking at something is very good motivation to get better at that thing.
A little Elise coming through there.
She taught me well the one time I tried cooking. I've never known true fear before that day.
She looks at you as she says, let me ask you. For your friends, are you a weapon?
I can be. It's not the only thing I am, but I know how to do it. And it's
if
a choice
you had to give everything else up to be the best at that for them,
oh, I couldn't do that.
Would you do it?
No, definitely not. That's why I ran away. That's what I could have been. I mean, I would have been turned into a mind flayer, but that's what I thought I could have been. You know, we sat and we trained and we meditated and we trained and we fought and we trained and we meditated more, and it was just all in service of becoming the absolute best at this one thing. And it turned out to be an evil mind flayer conspiracy that nearly got me and my friends killed. So that didn't go so hot. But I never really wanted to be the best at it. And I didn't know what I wanted. You know, when you grow up somewhere and it's everything you know and what you want doesn't matter there, it's really hard to find that compass, the thing that tells you what you actually want to do. But I had a couple dreams, and I saw stars and whales, and I wanted to find out what that meant. So I left. I gave it all up. I didn't know it was the right thing to do. I just knew it was what I wanted. I made a very selfish decision. And I'm lucky it worked out. But I tried something, and I couldn't have predicted how it ended, but I'm happy how it's going, even if I don't know how it's going to end.
Well, then that's the difference between you and I. I did give up everything else to be the best at it for them. That and the mind flare thing, I haven't had to deal with that. So
it's not, I wouldn't recommend it.
You know, my brain's made out of steel, so
that's so helpful.
It doesn't really bother me that much.
Perfect. Yeah. They must.
Yeah, I don't think they would really eat it.
No, they'd probably just kill you.
Not scary.
No, but honestly, I really respect what you've done, because I can't do that. You know, that's what I realized. I can't be the person that sacrifices myself for the people I care about, and it was a little sad when I realized that, because it's such a noble thing, and I can't do that. It was sheer luck that the people I betrayed turned out to be evil. I did it because it was what I wanted. And it sounds like you're a much better person than me. And I think it's a little bit sad that you don't think that's true.
That cuts particularly deep to her. But you can tell, with the diminished rage, the fight has also kind of gone out of her a little bit.
All right, maybe she'll stop me bullying Virla so much now.
And she, well, let's not be too hasty. And she goes, yeah, well, you don't really know me, so.
Not yet.
God, you're an annoyingly optimistic person.
It's kind of that or dying, so, you know. It's been a...
I found the pessimism gets me through pretty well.
That's good.
You expect a trap, there's a trap. You expect a monster, there's a monster.
Yeah.
I am either prepared or pleasantly disappointed.
Yeah, I guess that could work.
You're gonna crash into the portal up the... Just so you know.
Oh, okay.
The bow starts to go over.
Everyone!
Actually, could
we nearly ran into a cyclone there.
Slam on the comm.
Do a quick little check here.
Shit.
The ship's fine. The ship's cool.
Actually, as we're approaching the portal, you see Voss is already up on the crow's nest, and he jumps in first before the ship even gets there.
Oh my god.
What the fuck is wrong with
So
him?
we're done then.
He's living his best life. This is great.
I love this.
We can go
dumb
now, right? we have done our job.
Voss is practicing
Give me a sec, I
self-care,
got
and we all need to respect
Close
that.
the portal
How are we gonna
somewhere
find him now?
Presumably, when the gravity inverts, he'll fall onto the deck.
here. Yeah. Oh, why can't I find it? It's usually right here in the book. Give me a sec. I want to know what the color of the portal is, just for my own brain.
I was looking that up when I was drawing the map, and I discovered it's different between editions, which is super fun and helpful.
Great.
Yeah.
It's probably bets on some shade of red.
I'm guessing
Bets on a
orange.
shade of red. Taking bets.
I'm
Taking
gonna go
bets.
yellow. Mix
I'm
it
at-
up a bit.
Like I was thinking like a yellow or a gold, actually.
Like half of them are yellow or gold, the other half are
He's
red.
got.
The glory.
Oh, the very first one. Indigo.
Indigo.
What? The prophecy.
Very bad boy behavior of this portal.
The important thing is everyone was wrong. You guys see the indigo portal, and you just say anything when you jump fast, or you
Nope.
just
I just
you just pull a reverse Virla and go in first.
You hear a toot and then whoosh.
Man, you can't bring this character back if you're gonna keep saying toot.
I'm gonna keep saying toot. I don't care.
It's only a matter of time before one of us brings a harmonica and adds the
He
sound
doots
effects
on the
ourselves.
harmonica.
It's in the
I
mail.
have
You
getting
say that like you
harmonica.
already have a harmonica within arm's reach right now.
I don't. I have a melodica. That's actually pretty close.
Voss goes, Kyana, you watch his body just blur past you as he fucking base jumps off the tipping mast, and then the ship comes down.
He probably knows what he's doing.
You find yourself, it's somewhat reminiscent, actually, of Acheron, in that you're sitting in a floating void, also similar to Limbo, but instead of huge cubes, what you're looking at are peaceful, majestic, but sort of these dark, stony protrusions everywhere. You see, it looks like a, kind of like a, if this, like, kind of rugged beach got blasted apart, and you guys are kind of floating in, like, all the chunks of earth that are just kind of, like, slowly sailing around. There's waterfalls that kind of hop and skip, like gravity tends to do in these, like, void worlds, but it is, in general, just, like, these big protrusions, and most of them are fairly large. There aren't many that are like smaller than the Per Aspera. So you emerge from that, and Voss, you see,
He
make
base
a
jumped
dexterity saving throw,
into
baby.
a plane that is void.
Let's go.
Well, it's like Acheron, it's space, but there's a bunch of stuff everywhere,
No
right?
fucking way. It's a nat 20.
Yeah!
And that's 20. How do you want to do this? How do you want to land?
Wait, where am I landing? What's below me?
Below is relevant. I think.
There's a
That's a
bunch of
question
that
for
shit that I
future
just
boss.
described.
Flying
okay.
rocks, waterfalls.
I'll aim for the water.
Zelda rules.
Cool.
Fit like the Zora.
You watch what is like an ocean contained in or more like a big lake contained within this big like basin
jump from
stone.
any
You
height
watch
as long as
as
you land
Voss
a
just
decent
does like
enough
just does like a perfect dive into there and comes out on the other side.
He's a natural.
This
10.
lags.
Yeah,
when the
Plug holds
rain
up a little
falls down.
10 sign.
The ship, you bring down the ship next to him.
So
Oh.
you good, dude? Like where?
He's
I
kind
hate
of
him.
shaking the water out of his hair, and he looks
Little
at you
mermaid
guys.
moment.
Mikasa, Sukasa.
The Gith language is so beautiful.
Funny enough, he only speaks common deep speech and Gith. So I guess deep speech is
Deep
Spanish.
speech is so beautiful.
Speech in Spanish.
Yeah.
I don't know if I sign off on that one.
Yeah,
Deep
that-
speech should
that's a
be
bit
the
of a
land
stretch.
down under.
Yeah.
We already got our Aussies.
There's more than one land down under. Deep speech is the New Zealand accent.
No, that's Githyanki. We already
No,
established.
Githyanki is
Githzerai.
Australian.
No, Githzerai
That's
is
the
New Zealand.
drow.
I'm sorry, I got him.
Oh,
mixed up.
yeah.
So,
Okay.
are we good? Can we leave?
Yeah,
Have we?
got me to the.
Are you satisfied with your care?
My shiny metal friend, I am very much satisfied. Thank you. Get home safe. Call me when you get there. Let me know everything's alright. I'll be. He kind of looks around. Says, it's kind on a bit of a ways.
Do you need us to drop you off closer to where you're going?
See, the thing is, like, I'm not entirely... I didn't think this far. I just had to get here first.
If
I'm
we
in the right dimension. How hard can it
give
be?
you a lunchbox, do you think you're good? Or, like, do you need immediate survival support? I guess is the question.
I can survive just well. But let's see. It's one sword, you know, and in an infinite plane. How hard could it be to find?
I'm excited for the Voss one shot that's just trying to find his fucking sword.
Pretty good shit.
And yeah, unless you guys follow him, he just books it.
I'll look to Virla and be like, I think that's our cue to leave.
I cannot tell if this is a call to adventure or not, but I'm really inclined to think not. So I want to leave as well. Do we know how to get out of here without playing?
There's an indigo portal
15
feet behind you.
I wasn't sure if like the portal was like always in a consistent spot.
Oh, that's not true. They move around in the chaotic planes, but like not that quickly. It's still there. That's one of the hallmarks of going from a lawful to a chaotic is that lawful, the rifts, the colored pools will remain in place, and the other ones will like jump around and stuff.
Right.
Sometimes they reappear like in the same spot, but like they're more chaotic.
Okay, then. Well, what do we have? Is there anything that we have next to do? I mean, that took less than a day, I think. So we have.
It depends on the decisions of the former crew.
Back to the Astral Sea!
You spice.
Just backs the ship up.
Yeah, here, and it's like, it's a dangerous yet beautiful place here, right? Like, you know, wind off the sea like blows salt into your hair. It's like cold, it cuts you, but it's also kind of like invigorating. There's the sense here of like, man, I could jump off of a mast into an ocean and I would be okay. That would be, you know, I'm like pretty badass here. There's definitely like a rugged individualism that you kind of get from this place.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, all the worlds like kind of have a vibe. This one, you get that sense from it. But as you know, you guys are standing there, hair gets tossed by wind and sea spray and stuff like that. You know, everyone has come to the deck of the ship to watch, first of all, to see this world because it's cool, and also to watch Voss, you know, pull a superhero landing, basically.
He's still going. You just see him awkward. He's swimming. You know, he gets off. He kind of catches his breath.
He's coming to a stone. Is he gonna go around it? Nope.
He's
gonna go right over.
Right above it. Right over it.
Nope. He starts going one way. He stops. Like, wait, no, other way. Yeah, it's the other way. It's the other way. Finbar kind of steps out onto the deck, takes a deep breath, says, "We can go hunting. Like, there's plenty of food around here. We can go. It's not a lot of opportunity out here in Eastgard. Besides, I gotta pick up some things. I got quite the party to throw.
Why are you throwing a party?
Virla, you mind? We could put him on the guest list, right?
You had another secret?
No, you were here for Wait, were you here for this? Oh, she wasn't here for this.
None of us were.
Finbar's
you know it's bad when Virla's forgetting the secrets that he has.
Finbar's ignoring the two of us. Says, we got a party to put on, right? Do you mind?
I thought that happened afterwards. I didn't think I had to think about this right now.
There's a couple.
I need to clear my conspiracy board.
There's a couple parties we gotta throw. There's the big one, you know, with the ring and everything. There's the one before that.
Wait, that's a party in of itself? I thought it was just going to be an intimate thing between you two.
Guys, am I parking or backing up?
Look,
you're good.
I have my reservations about it. If you want to put him on the guest list, you can.
Okay. No, I'm talking about the old crew.
I'm just gonna get up next to this island over here.
I think
that's all right.
Beep.
Absolutely, yes.
It seems to me like they need a party. So.
Yes.
Cool.
Maybe we should have this conversation for another time, though.
It's at a
but
weird
I will
angle.
think.
I gotta turn around again.
I will think on this.
Kyana, make a ship handling check. That's your ship handling. You're not proficient in ships, so that's just a D20 plus your wisdom.
Gonna take the help action to do the thing where someone gets out and then they're like, "Yeah, you got room. You got room."
You're like a foot out. It's fine. So just a d20 plus my wisdom. Do I roll this at advantage because of the help action?
Yeah, go for
it. You're good. Wait. No, you're good. Keep going.
22.
Perfect.
Good. Okay, yeah. You don't crash while parallel parking.
Perfect. Oh, I'm gonna pass my test. So good.
No scratches to buff out.
License.
Man, I pulled off the greatest parallel park the other day. I haven't done it in years.
Yeah.
I pulled off a great parallel park.
Yeah.
I wouldn't shut up about it all night.
Sounds like maybe you're not going to shut up about it now.
I'm still not shutting up about it. Anyway. Okay, you guys,
Finbar,
you parallel park. Do you guys want to get any?
Yeah, Finbar, if you think that...
Are we actually going to do something in Newsguard? Like, is this something that's happening? Because
if you think that we need to do something, then we can. I don't know what wildlife is here, but if you think that there are ingredients that we might need, or you might need, for the inevitable smorgasbord of dishes that will be present at one or all of these parties.
At least gonna be mad if I don't bring anything. Actually.
I'm gonna get out and flop on some grass. I assume there's grass.
If there's anything that you need to get here, we can do it. We don't need to belabor the logistics of it, I suppose.
Is there a sun in this dimension? It's very important.
Is there a sun?
Good question.
You mean that one over there?
No.
Yes.
I think so,
It's
actually.
time, Kyana.
Finally, I get to show Sunny the sun.
Glad time. It's also called Glad time. That's cool.
Oh, that makes
Oh
sense.
yeah, all the layers are named after the Norse realms.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Such it is. There's also like Olympus stuff in Arborea, but we don't need to.
The most
Gods,
sensical way to world.
You know
build.
what?
Everything but
You
the
know what?
consent.
We're gonna make a DM call here. There is a sun here.
Yes. All right.
Okay.
I will show Sunny the sun.
Get any ingredients that we need for parties. Very important task of showing Sunny his, what is
Namesake.
it? Namesake, yes.
Yeah.
Good work.
And then off we go to whatever we need to do next.
No, Sunny, don't look directly at it.
If no one says anything,
That's what I've been waiting for this entire time. You have provided the vague direction of look at
Dragon
the
looks
thing
at
that you were
sun.
named after.
No, you just sort of look
Kyana-
near it.
You have a blind pseudo dragon now.
You watch Sunny just
Sunny has
stare at the
blind
sun.
sight.
Just turns, opens eyes, and stares directly at the sun.
Oh, poor guy.
I'm feeling that one through our limited telepathic link.
You
getting
link.
a simple
You
idea,
could
emotion,
feel.
or
Yeah,
image.
it's burning a spot.
Sunny is seeing
so
directly at the sun, and
But
now
he's
I
like,
too
oh,
am
this
seeing
is
directly
how
at the
you
sun.
do it. You just stare at the sun.
Is this
no,
supposed to
Sunny
feel like
doesn't.
this?
The cool thing about the sun is that you don't look directly at it, but it still makes your life better.
Okay.
Oh, not directly at it.
Not directly at it.
You show.
I'm gonna need to navigate with Sunny's blind sight for the next 30 minutes.
You can pass it off to me if you need to pilot. If I need to pilot,
Well,
I can pilot now.
Virla, you go up to get in the helm.
Yeah.
Kyana, you're pointing out at the sun. Sun hanging in the sky. Big lake. Voss just swimming out.
He's still going. He's
not
still
even
going.
going.
Voss just swimming out.
It's not.
Dude
he's
was
fast,
imprisoned,
but like,
and now
it's-
he just has the stamina to do that.
He's just been doing the Uncle Iroh
Well, your
prison
muscles don't
workout.
atrophy in the astral sea.
Ugh.
That's fair.
As you're looking and pointing out, Eden walks up to you, Kyana, and says, "How did you know when it was time to leave?"
I realized I couldn't spend the rest of my life there, and it didn't make a difference if I made that decision the next day or 6 months later. The decision would be the same. But it's okay if you don't know that yet.
She kind of considers. She says,
Who considers?
Eden. She kind of considers. And she says, I'm not gonna wait around for those 6 months to pass. She turns to Sierra and not Dexter. Dexter shows up to
Boss fight
Sierra and
two.
Caleb. At 2. Turns to Sierra and Jesus Christ, Caleb were standing there. She says, you have to keep in mind, I don't know names. She says, I'm sorry it's gonna be so rushed. And I'm sorry that I, was a seething rage monster for all the time that we've been out of there. But the fact of the matter is, I think I have a lot to work through. And I think I need a little space to do it. So, I was always your tracker. I'll find you guys.
Aww.
Wherever you go.
Aww.
Together, apart, whichever.
Yes.
But I just want you to know that and Caleb and Sierra come in and just give her a hug.
Yeah!
She turns to Kyana, says, "Thank you." Turns to Virla, steps towards you and says, "For what it's worth, I hope some part of the old Virla is still in you. I'd hate for him to be really gone."
I hope you can believe me when I say, me too.
You're always a bad liar. I believe you.
Okay. Would you like to be dropped off somewhere? Or find your way on your
No,
own?
right here will do. She calls out, she goes, "Boss! Wait up!"
Yes!
And she deer-like springs from the edge of the ship onto the edge of the rock there.
Keep jumping off of the ship today. What's in the fucking water?
Dani, it's so fun. You gotta try this.
I will not.
Maybe they're just trying to get away from you.
Nah.
She gives a wave.
Be safe.
Maybe I will, maybe I won't.
Yeah.
That I will try.
Yes.
And she's gonna go off to join Voss. I didn't even think that would be a thing, but the conversation with Kyana was very convincing.
Woohoo!
Okay. Well,
And I think it's as you watch her dive into the water, swim for the first time in who knows how long. I think that is where we'll cut to break. And
Yeah.
We'll pick up when we come back. With some time having passed.
The future is now.
Oh.
Rolling with difficulty.
Today's adventure is brought to you by World Anvil. World Anvil is a browser-based world-building tool designed to help you, the creator, write and world build, all while keeping your work organized and in one place. World maps, calendars, customizable wikis, visual timelines, and more let you decide how best to build your world. And when you're ready to write, look no further than the built-in word processor. You can write your prose directly in World Anvil and keep every step of the process in one place. We all know TTRPGs are all about the power of friendship, and with real-time collaboration, you can work with your players or other creators on the same project. On top of all that jazz, World Anvil recently rolled out a new feature called Whiteboards. This visual canvas allows creators to freely draw out their ideas, adding diagrams, flowcharts, mood boards, and more. If you're a more visual creator, this feature is perfect for you. You can chart out character arcs, storyboard key scenes, doodle your character holding hands with somebody else's character, or whatever else you need to help make the story you see in your mind come to life. Interested? Of course you are! And it only gets better, because for our listeners, World Anvil is offering a special discount. Just use code PLUG at checkout for 40% off a yearly membership.
Rolling with difficulty.
Hello, we're back, and better than ever. Which is to say, we all peed and got water.
I had to pee so bad. The last, hour of our recording.
You could just be like, wait, guys, hold on, I'm gonna pee. I'll cut out the 2 minutes of awkward chit-chat.
I didn't want to interrupt anyone's dramatic moments. I could have. There was a while there where I thought maybe no one's gonna talk to Dani for a while, and I could just sneak off and no one would.
Is that why Dani's been so tired? Sophia needs
Prop
to
up the
pee.
little blahage with the headphones on. Nobody will notice you're gone.
You died. That could not be left unaddressed.
But my bladder.
We can go as long as we want without addressing it if we repress it. Don't address
I like the little
it,
hand
just
motion.
repress
You look like that weird white taxidermy thing in the memes. It's like,
Why are we here?
What? This is
Why are we
an
doing
audio.
this?
This is a podcast. No one
when
sees
last
this.
we left our... Just imagine it.
Just imagine it. Theater of the mind. What else
When
do
last
we
we
do
left
D&D
our
for?
heroes.
This is horrible.
Y'all's guys heading out into the distance.
Mm-hmm.
Virla now at the helm, takes over and backs the ship back into the astral sea. It's a weird sensation. Usually you fly through bow first. To emerge from the stern is a little disorienting, but you guys are all used to it. It doesn't throw you or anything. the silence of everyone kind of coming to terms with everything that just happened, intercut by that like weird ominous chant that the astral sea is constantly putting out.
Like ASMR.
Caleb says, well, on that note, turns to Dani and says, I don't suppose you know any like good mechanic places for an artificer to work?
Good?
Like recommendations or inns?
Oh no.
Well, here's the thing. I do know a place you could work. I don't know if I would use good as a word to describe it, but I tend to be of the opinion that life is what you make of it. So maybe you can find a way.
Dani.
Alternatively, I do know of a recent captain who acquired a spelljammer and has no idea how to operate it.
Oh, that's a good idea.
He could use a mechanic, potentially.
And possibly some hired muscle.
Like
He's really not that good in a fight.
I believe it is as stable as any other adventuring crew,
He's
which is
already
to
got
say
money, so
it hinges
whether
on the
he's
capabilities
adventuring or
of the
not,
crew.
He could pay you, you know?
Virla and Dani just both talking at once. He's just moving his head back and forth trying to keep up. I mean, you can't live on the hummingbird. It's like living on a speedboat. Like, you could do it, but...
I guess it depends on whether or not Tavian, like, has room in his inevitable bachelor pad for 2 more.
Roommates, the spin-off show for
3 if we
Rolling with
count
Difficulty.
But we don't know that yet.
2 crazy boys taking on the big city. 1, a suave swashbuckler.
We're
and
spawning up way too many
I'm sorry, you're
hosts.
still doing this bit?
Okay. Oh my god. This is a weird energy to kick off the season. Alright.
That's the thing about coming off of breaks, is we're all like, I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This happened when we came back from Iceland. It's happening again.
We gotta shake the rust off. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I could send you to the Heap, which is where I worked, but it's run
It's called
by
the Heap?
Otto, who everyone else hates, so I can't
The
in good
Heap?
conscience recommend it. The Heap, yeah, it's got a heap of stuff on it.
Like a pile of trash?
It's a junk pile. It's
a
got
pile.
It's got its nice
Everyone who
elements.
is currently insulting the pile is walking on a ship that has been repaired with pieces from the pile, so I don't want to hear another goddamn word.
The Heap is... I like the Heap.
The Heap is great. I got my first tattoo there.
Everyone
Replace the
except
Per
for
Aspera
Otto
with
is
places from the
great.
Heap. Is it still the Per Aspera?
The other option is we do know a guy who has a spelljammer, but it's not one you can live on, so you might have to find your own accommodations, and I don't know if it'll be the steadiest gig, but it's an option, and it's not run by someone that everyone else on the ship hates, so...
To be honest, Otto might become a little more tolerable if he employs actual adults that are his equals instead of children who he's got...
There's like a bunch of adults who work there.
Yeah, most of them started as kids.
Not a lot of them are full
No.
adults that were hired as full adults.
Child labor was
I'm sorry, Dani. I only hang out with your friends.
Marty and
Child labor was a
Sadie
recent thing.
Marty,
are like
Sadie,
full adults.
Zax, all adults.
Kazar, who you've never met, Zax.
Not to mention, I feel like he would just be threatened by someone else, kind of his equal.
Well, yeah, but that might make him easier to
I
deal
realize
with.
everyone's sample size with Otto is me and the other mechanic trio members, but like most people who work at the Heap just work at the Heap. It's a job.
Caleb just like silently looks to Virla and like just kind of like it gives you a look of like is this supposed to be a good offer? Like how am I supposed to feel about this?
I mean, I suppose it's as bad as any other job who has a shitty boss.
Hey, wait a minute. Who's the guy with the house that was Emmy?
Casimir?
Casimir. He's studying docent, right? You have him working on the project that you all were working on.
Bitopia's
That is true.
You've
oh my
got someone
goodness,
working
I haven't
on
even...
the project?
Yes, hold on.
Wait, the project is alive?
Okay, I completely forgot about this. In the process of trying
Signature move.
In the process, there's been a lot going on. I've been in a state.
You didn't even break any memory spheres this time. What's the excuse?
In the process of trying to find you, I had to relearn what our initial goal was. That involved us going to an artificer in Bitopia who meddled with what one should not and created an artificial
An arcane
he created a
intelligence.
house.
Arcane intelligence.
An arcane intelligence house that now lives in my mind. Long story, let's not get into it. Emmy says hello. But
let's not get into it. The robot voice in my mind says hi.
Do you remember the small sort of spherical thing that I based my data spheres off of? We had gone to. Do you remember Maxim? Do you remember any of? Yeah.
I think they remember.
I'm not you. I remember all of that.
It's been 3 years. I don't know how. I don't know how recently we went to Maxim and how. Anyway. So, Casimir was able to hack into Docent and unlock a good amount of information that was locked to me before the incident, capital I. And part of it was the confirmation that Docent came from an entirely different planescape. House Cannith, inscribed on Docent, came from a place called Eberron. It at the very least is confirmation of Emerson's goal, and knowing that Docent arrived on the Ad Astra is confirmation of multi-planescape travel. I had given Docent to Casimir with the intent of him archiving, storing the data, collating it. For me initially, but I suppose us now, to consume and parse through whenever we wish. But yes, this does mean the project is alive. Actually, this also brings up another point. The project that Dexter had forced you all to work on. This is recent, and it will bring up bad memories. I apologize. I can only assume that Dexter and the Gith Yankee were having you all make a spelljammer capable of multiversal travel.
I think we should all sit down.
Yeah.
For like 6 different reasons. You guys all go down to the kitchen and sit. Everyone takes their seats, and after a pause, all right. Yes. Dexter's charge under the Gith Yankee was creating a ship that would be capable of traversing not just one world, not one plane, a universe, not the planescape, the multiverse, but, as he said, an omniversal ship, one that could leave here and see all the other ones that may or may not exist.
So, not to travel from planescape to planescape, but to traverse the space between planescapes, to enter planescapes, like portals in the astral sea.
That's the theory. I mean, we don't really know exactly how it works, other than, what we were able to piece together. I'm sure Docent gives you a way better picture than we were able to form, but the nearest we can tell is that it's the same way that a plane exists in its own contained locale, but is also accessible by the sea between worlds, that there is a greater void between them that would operate in much the same way. That theoretically, you could traverse between them the same way a spelljammer is able to traverse between one plane and the next. Now,
sounds like we got our answer to what you could be doing. All this I don't get, but if we can get you over to Biotopia, we can continue to get information and work that out, because at the end of the day, Dex is still out there. Somebody's chasing after this technology still. And
yeah, and you can bet the Gith aren't going to be happy. Whatever it was, I said this before, but as bad as it was for us, I don't think Dexter was exactly free to go about his business if he decided he was no longer, feeling the vibe, I kind of get the sense that they were running him as hard as they were running us in some ways. The fact of the matter is, I don't think he got very much out of it in the end. It's lucky the Githyanki basically have all the time in the world and are very patient because, well, not to put too fine a point on it, but without you and Emerson, they were missing a couple big pieces of the puzzle. Each of us... Oh, God, you don't remember any of it, do you? Emerson came to each of us because he thought that we had a key, and so that there was something special, unique about us, that each of us was a puzzle piece that together would form the picture that would get the answer. And Dexter wanted those as well. He was missing two big ones with you and with Emerson. With your cataloging of everything, your just frankly intimidating sheer massive acquired knowledge, and Emerson's particular gifts, I think they couldn't crack it, and he probably was just going down dead ends if he even was bothering to go down them at all at that point. This is all to say, I don't think the Gith are going to necessarily give up on that easily. And, Dexter sold us out in the first place because he wanted the answer. I don't think he is either. Neither do I, though.
Yeah.
We spent a long time working on that. If this Casimir guy has cracked it, then if you can make that happen, I'd love to be the first, second. Depends on the ordering here to, learn exactly what that means.
I think at minimum we should let Casimir know that the local experts are sprung from jail and can
you flatter
talk to him.
Sierra goes, I'm indispensable.
That might be more true than you realize. If the foremost, experts on multiversal travel are either on this ship or, and knowing Casimir, he has probably skyrocketed on Bitopia. Casimir now probably has a decent amount of knowledge regarding multiversal travel. I don't like the guy on a personal level, but he does good work. He may be found out, and so he would need someone to aid him, either in the studying aspect or perhaps, if he wanted, the building aspect, and he will need someone to protect him in case he were to be found by those also seeking a similar aim. That being said, you have devoted 3 years of your life in imprisonment towards this goal, and I actually don't know how long you've spent before then towards it. And I can imagine that this is no longer a path you wish to follow. And I just want to make that option. I just want to make it clear that we are not forcing you into anything. We know that that is an option that is available. That being said, I cannot think of two other people more suited to aid Casimir in his efforts, keep an eye on him, and whenever necessary, report back to us of any important updates.
Before Emerson found me, Emerson and Astra actually, but before Emerson found me, I was fixing junk that Delvers brought back from Acheron to Mechanus. I've done that. That's nothing to go back to. And Sierra was just doing what she's doing now in another place in this multiverse. If you're telling me that there's a way to get closure on Emerson's dream, even if it's even if the ending is nothing came of it, I'd just be happy to close the book. Did I belabor the metaphor too hard?
No. I caught it and I agree with it. Then I think then our next steps are clear. We will make our way to Bytopia, to Casimir. I will alert him, ahead of time to let him know that some of the people who were knowledgeable in this are here now, and they are here to provide their guidance. Well, their assistance and their expertise, and also their protection.
Sierra goes, so it's a road trip.
Yeah!
To Bytopia, then.
Shotgun!
To Bytopia. Star Wars wipe!
Yeah!
The twin spiraling peaks of Bytopia that touch in the middle. I assume you call him ahead of time to let him know.
Yeah,
that you're incoming.
Sending, just kind of the gist of it is, coming in to visit to check on progress. I found some members of my old crew. They are in on the goal. They might be able to help. I don't know.
Oh shit, his book.
Gotta work on your delivery. Very stealthy. Get your ass over here. Lots to share. Bring the experts.
Yeah.
Don't get locked in your closet again.
You guys show up, those and is like, Casimir is unavailable.
Don't look in the arboretum.
He was just an asshole.
As we're coming in, I'm just gonna ask Emmy. Emmy, we're going home. How does it feel?
Wow.
You're going home, rather.
It kind of feels like I'm not the same artificial mind that I was when I left. Like I will be going home, but not really going home.
Emmy, you went to college?
Emmy completed the hero's journey.
Yep.
Emmy's returning with the elixir, and the elixir is Virla.
Believe me, I can definitely relate. Maybe this is why you have this opinion, but I can definitely relate to the idea of something that was once your home no longer being your home.
What if our minds are just becoming one, and we don't even know what's happening, and we just
we
connect.
We combine into not Emmy, not Virla, but Vemi.
Yeah.
Irla.
Some other, some new amalgamation.
I like being me. I don't know about you.
I like the idea that Virla and Emmy are just having this intensely complex internal philosophical conversation and have just visibly blue screened from the outside.
When we're on the subject, do you ever think about if the colors that you see as red, it looks different from the color that I see as red?
Don't even get me started. I know for a fact that the colors that you see are the colors that I see, but let's not get into what anyone else sees.
We live in a universe with psychic communication. That's a solved problem.
What if your mind's just interpreting it?
No,
Star
but the
Wars,
mind is being
Bytopia.
the mind is being placed in your mind, so it would be as if you're looking at it through your eyes? I don't know.
We see the beautiful pastoral landscape, windswept, very, very Ghibli. All the tall grass being swept around. The house that's built into a hill. The skylight down into the now fixed up greenhouse. That's what I'm looking for. Bones?
Bones?
He's powdered them up. Calcium in the soil.
Only the
good for
bones that are
plants.
supposed to be there.
Only the bones that are supposed to be there. You guys land, and Caleb's just like, the house of a genius.
I can't tell.
Yeah, looks have been deceiving before, I guess.
More or less.
Okay, yes.
The writing's on the walls, as it were.
I mean, it's a hole, not metaphorically, it's a big hole in a hill.
It's a nice hole.
Yeah.
It's very dry.
See,
it's not one of those dirty little holes.
It might be because
it's no halfling hole.
Yeah.
His assistant kind of left, and all he had was docent, so I don't know if he's been cleaning up after himself.
That's right. Emmy, and I kind of just tap my forehead. Sorry.
I'm choking. I can't feel.
Okay. Her original task in the house was to, I suppose, do the menial work that Casimir could not be bothered to do. I do not know whether Docent is, fulfilling that role. Perhaps this was a learning opportunity for Casimir to, a moment of personal growth, let's call it.
I gave that boy a week's worth of food.
He's still alive, so
He might be
but
dead.
Has it been around? No, it hasn't been around.
The cutscene at the end of season 3 where we go to Casimir and he's like, I've solved it, was actually just him figuring out how to do his laundry correctly and like the colors to run.
Could work. So, mixing colors and white.
He's finally figured out how to operate the microwave and his cup ramen is actually working. And he's like, yes, I've done it.
It could work. Yeah.
Keeps putting the plastic wrap on.
He forgot to put the water in and he's not sure why it's not working.
Does like, would you like me to run
I
another
swear I've known
simulation?
someone who forgot to put water in their Kraft instant mac and cheese twice and burned it.
He thought
is the person we know, or is that?
I don't know.
I don't
is
know.
this someone we don't? that my friends don't know that I
don't
know. Okay,
He thought the flavor packet was like a desiccant, so he threw it out.
Yeah.
Oh, he thought the desiccant was the flavor packet, so he put it in.
Yeah.
All right, let's go in.
Alright.
I'll knock on the
you
door.
guys knock. Welcome, user Virla.
Oh, hello, docent. It is so nice to hear your voice again. May we come in? Casimir is expecting us.
You give him a question he actually knows how to answer. Certainly, you've been alerted. Door opens. You guys enter. Everything a little bit more, hospitable than last time, where there was like a weird eerie emptiness. Instead, this time there is already like trays of like tea waiting out for you, and you see entering. Actually, he would already probably be waiting there, having seen you guys come in. You see Casimir. He does look. So the last time you saw him, he'd been in a closet for a long time.
True.
He was disheveled and kind of a mess. He's not quite
What's to say?
like he was
exactly
like a 10 before. He's like a 7 now. Like he's basically in a bathrobe, and
Yeah, sure.
you see he's kind of like wiping his hands, like he was just working on something. Well, about time. Welcome, Virla. It's Kyana, Finbar, Dani. See, I'm a nice guy. I remember names, and these are your
So these used to be members of the old crew of the Per Aspera back when our goal was to research multiversal travel. It was this team, along with a few others, that acquired Docent and attempted to do what you could not, to feed your ego a bit. But this is Caleb and Sierra.
You do flatter me.
Can
I do like it.
Insight check him just to see like if he's trying to hide a bruised ego or if he actually like he's got a little secret that we don't know.
Go ahead and roll an insight check.
16.
16. You roll pretty well for your insight. His ego's not bruised. He is smug. He's like pretty smug. You get the sense of someone who doesn't have like all the answers, but he knows so much more than he's currently letting on, and he can't wait. He's got a secret he can't wait to share. Sort of the anti-Virla in that way.
Danny starts to brainstorm ways to undercut his big moment.
Anyway, it's been a little bit, so I figured we would check in on progress.
Well, progress has been made. Please follow me, guests. You can also follow don't worry about the dirt. Dustin will get it, and lead you guys upstairs to. Would he go to? Yeah, he'll go to his lab.
How does Docent get the dirt? I'm curious. Because I'm imagining like lasers.
Docent. Yeah, basically the magical version. He has a little prestidigitation,
and is replaced with a different floor.
That's pretty cool. No, it's like there's runes on the floor too, so like the runes light up underneath where there's dirt, and a prestidigitation, they just kind of like all away.
That's cool.
Kyana just stamps out her boot to watch it happen.
As we're going up, I'll ask Casimir. How has Docent been acclimating to your house?
Docent has been acclimating too well, actually. Some would probably say he's taken a bit of an attitude. You hear Docent say, "I am only capable of what you have programmed me for," and he says, "Oh well, I don't know where to stop."
So, 2 for 2 then is what I'm understanding.
He's been serving quite well. Yes, he's no Emmy. She is top of the line, but I have to say, I am impressed with the quality of work of the people that you stole from.
I have no qualms with that statement.
Also, he knows a lot. I mean, I don't know if you ever just asked him for stories, but
I have been preoccupied with my own things.
aren't we all?
Hold on. I tell Docent stories. I told Docent stories in like the 8-month. I've been treating him like a diary, and you never thought to dive. I guess I never thought to add.
Oh no, I mean your diary is like most of it. But
oh shit!
but there's a ton of backlog that was locked away from that World Everon that we don't have to get into it right now.
What?
Fair enough.
What? Don't worry. I told you, it's a Mimir. It's filled with information.
In fairness, I had not had the capability to delve into these backlogs because they were locked away. So I suppose.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You couldn't crack it. Well, glad you brought it here.
Don't push it.
I'm regretting this decision.
Getting smugger
He gives
and
just
smugger
the
by
most.
moment.
He gives the most shit-eating smile and leads you guys upstairs. It's actually pretty crowded in his little workspace now that everyone's up there, but
Especially with Sierra.
he sort of gestures around. Yeah, Sierra's pretty close to like Emmy construct size,
Yeah.
which is like mostly disassembled in the corner.
Oh.
Getting his flashbacks.
Yeah, that's actually getting the shit beat out of her.
It only happens like once a season. Magic Ram.
Hey, what doesn't kill you?
Emmy
Am I right?
construct.
Casimir looks at you. You look different.
No, I'm exactly the same. Why would you say something like that? Don't you know it's rude to comment on people's appearances?
I don't know the meaning of the word.
You should probably
Anyway.
learn it. It seems relevant.
Doesn't do the thing. You see the lights dim. Docent like spectral mind major image kind of comes up, and he goes, "So, Docent and I have been revealing. That's not the word I'm looking for. We've been going over the logs from before, from these previous crew members, and suffice to say, it's much longer than I can get into right now. We've been learning a lot, and Docent can only teach me as fast as I can learn, which is fast, but not as fast as Docent. So, baby steps. But the most interesting part is not the lore. I mean, some may disagree, but the most interesting part is not the lore, so to speak, so much as it's the math involved. It kind of looks to you guys to see like your reaction on like, oh yeah, don't worry about the stories. Like, what's really interesting is the numbers we can crunch.
Uh-huh.
I agree.
Wait, there's math in this now?
Dani looks like she's gonna hunk shoe again.
They're already
You guys
has
can just
been.
take a nap if you want. I wouldn't worry about it. I'm sure you're not going to miss anything important.
Don't
just
push
the
it.
greatest discovery of our age. Touches Docent. Go ahead, jump. And you see what looks like it's a circle, a flat disc, with almost a dome over the top, stars, and around the edge, you will have to imagine that this is a very compressed image from the actual size it should be. The same way that, like if you shrunk a globe down, it would be if you shrunk the Earth down to the size of a globe, it would be smoother than a bowling ball, right? Because the height of the mountains and trenches, doesn't matter. You're looking at like kind of that compressed, things aren't quite right, because what you notice is around the edge a slight ripple, and with closer inspection you realize it is water. It's like a waterfall all around the edge. So
There are
all
4
around
elements,
the edge
elephants on a
is
turtle.
Yeah.
imagining water is falling and then dispersing, which on a waterfall would take some great height, and yet here it is barely like a fizzle in the projection. So you have to imagine this is really compressed from what it's supposed to be. But he goes, take a look at
Yes.
home.
The astral sea and the planescape has
Everything we've ever known sort of puts it into perspective, doesn't it? Anyway, this was a recording from Docent before the old crew.
wait, recording. This is actually it, not a model or a simulation.
This is what Docent remembers. It only remembers what it's been taught. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it was a model that was projected by him, but it's in his memory. It's
I see. Huh.
Anyway, you are here. He points into it. The old ship. You see like a dotted line like spins around and then enters. Imagine a slingshot, the way that like there's a gravitational slingshot around a planetary body to gain velocity.
Yeah.
The same thing here. You see a dotted line appear. He goes, a slingshot to break through into our space between worlds from their space between worlds. I know, mind-boggling stuff. It was doable. They did it. The only problem is, and then the dome disappears. By the way, the dome was all starry pinprick. I don't know if I mentioned that. The dome disappears, and you see inside, and you see like the same attempt, and it just kind of like ricochets off the side. He goes, for whatever reason, and your pals never did figure that out, doesn't work both ways. Worked the first time to escape theirs, worked to get into ours. Didn't work to get back out. Now, we have to assume these people were at least half competent, because they got it to work the first time. So, whatever reason they couldn't get out again, well, that's a question for the genius of our time. Is that person me? I haven't solved it yet, so it's impossible to say. But we have been crunching the numbers, and it is theoretically possible to get back out using the equations that Docent knows about this, multiversal travel. It is theoretically possible. It would probably just... how to describe this? It's very complicated. The thing is, it's possible, but it would fail before it worked. Does that make sense?
No.
No? So, like, it could happen. Theoretically, the numbers track out, but then it would fail before it... You know what? If you think about it too hard, it's gonna...
Usually that means that there's something you haven't accounted for in those equations.
That is exactly right. Something we haven't accounted for. The thing that I haven't accounted for is why I've gone from 5 hours down to 3 hours of sleep a night. Because it is mind-boggling, the sheer staggering amount of things that need to go right in order for this to work. Just on a physical application side, there are specifications to the ship that would have to be done just to make it feasible, so you don't blow up when you start trying to go that fast. Going that fast is a challenge in and of itself. But and here is where Caleb steps in. And he goes, but a solvable problem.
Oh no.
The guy goes, yeah, this guy speaks common. Why don't any of you?
They're
you speak over us before we can speak common.
Well, that's not really my fault. It's sort of a personality flaw, if anything. Anyway, yes. Before we can solve it, or before we can do it, we need to solve it. But it is solvable. It's a solvable problem. The math theoretically should work the same way. How to describe this? So there used to be spells greater than the ones that exist, right? And theoretically, they could be cast again, but they can't because the infrastructure isn't there anymore. But, like, they used to work, so they should theoretically, if you change some stuff, still be able to work. By what I can tell, it's the same principle here. The underlying mechanisms are preventing it, but it should be possible.
But you still have to figure out what those mechanisms are and how to change it. I still have to
figure out what those mechanisms are. I need to do the hard math, and I have to figure out the piece that we're missing.
So it seems like this is some principle that applies to our universe, but it doesn't apply to their home one. Something that made them bounce off the... Yay!
It very well possibly could be the exact thing that you had mentioned. The fact that magic, being once powerful, has been attenuated somewhat. That's just my own conjecture. I was going to ask, though, what records does Docent have of their attempts to escape their home plane?
Noir, go ahead and pull a inspiration real quick. What records does Docent have? He goes, oh, well, it's much the same, but I can show you if you want. He pulls up a map of their world, except to us it would look a lot more like a solar system.
Ooh. We're going to
Sorry,
Pluto,
let me see if I can
boy!
get it. I can only be a semi-encyclopedic knowledge on one entire universe.
Yeah.
So we live in a big dome, but out there is an actual multiverse with planets and shit.
Well, I mean who knows how different each one is. It's impossible to say if they're all like ours, if they're all like theirs, if there's...
I might sort of guide this description a little bit. Is the solar system like our solar system in which everything orbits on a flat plane? Or are there different planes of inclination that each planet orbits around so it resembles something more like an atom?
That's what I'm trying to figure out right now. Hold on, I have a map here. I'm just trying to find it.
Having an equatorial plane is so convenient.
It really is.
Yeah.
All the math and physics majors in the chat are popping off. Meanwhile, film major and art major McGee over here are just like, that looks neat, I guess.
Hey, all I know is that there's magic involved in some of this, and that's all that
Stuff
matters.
is happening.
It bothers me that, like, on a macro scale, the universe moves as a beautiful system of wheels within wheels, but then you look closer and everything's wobbling like hell and nothing actually lines up like it's supposed to. And
Yeah, it's a giant
so I
mess.
only get eclipses occasionally when the planes are perfectly
Here it is.
intersect
Yes,
with
it
each
looks.
other.
It looks. You're exactly right, Noir. It looks like an atom.
Okay.
And he goes.
I wouldn't
and
know
each
what
one
atoms
of these is
are.
its own.
I
I
live
mean,
in a
that's not what
magic
an atom
world.
looks like anyway, but...
It's
you
not.
know.
It's
It's
not.
not.
It's what the simplified model of an atom looks
Right.
like,
Yeah.
where there are orbitals and these things are moving around. He's like,
Electron
now
clouds.
each of these is a plane in and of itself. They're all balls, which is a little bit weird, but you know the notion is exactly the same. And you see a path again, dotted path comes out from the one in the center, what would be the nucleus. Slingshots around, pierces out from the outside. He's like. And there's like, Dozen has information on all of these. I haven't even asked him about yet, but
Docent.
the notion is there, right? It's possible to get out, it's possible to get in, and yet it's not possible to get out of ours.
Okay. I have a potential line of thinking. Docent, do you have any records on the Blue Veil?
Searching. You know what? Let me go ahead and roll a history check for Docent, because this is...
My thinking, because Emerson has
are
mentioned
asking the
peering
right
beyond the Blue
questions.
Veil. My thinking is that the Blue Veil is, I guess, a visual, physical manifestation of this actual barrier that's preventing multiversal travel out of the planescape. So in which case this Blue Veil should not be present, or in at least in as much capacity as, the cosmology of Eberron. So my actual expectation is that there isn't a lot of record on the Blue Veil, and if there is, it's only centered around this current planescape.
Docent rolls with a +7 to his
Yeah, I
Arcana.
remember. Good times.
Rolls with a +7. Docent comes to you and says, Blue Veil. Data entry. A theorized termination of the astral sea, otherwise known as the Silver Sea, the Silver Void, or the World Between Worlds. More information required in this entry.
Okay. So, that might be the first thing to look on. There have been records of... There have been people who have been able to dream of other planescapes. It was the impetus for our former captain's motivation for this in the first place. He was one of those such people. He described his dreaming as peering beyond the Blue Veil. My guess is that the Blue Veil is, and I gesture to the dome that the little model Spelljammer isn't able to escape. If there were any then other records available, not just in Docent, but in the Planescape, of the Blue Veil, that might help lend context as to what that might be and how one might be able to escape it.
Caleb nods. He says, Emerson did use those words multiple times. Precisely. The Blue Veil.
Yes.
Never anything different. Casimir at this point says, like, oh, well, consistency, if nothing else. It's a good theory. It's a theory that needs testing, but it's a good theory.
And I thought of it.
And you thought of it. What can I say? Kudos to me for bringing you on board.
I do have one other point. You are not the
Please.
only party researching this, and in fact there are other very dangerous parties that would be very interested in your work. I hope I don't have to ask the obvious, but you haven't told anyone else about this, have you?
Lucky for you, the answer is technically no.
That's not a good answer.
What does technically mean in this context?
Technically. No
It's only
one
good-
knows that I'm
it's only good
working
when I
on
do the
Secrets
technically.
of
I don't like it when
Multiverse
anyone else
I
does
just
it.
might have told some people that I'm working on the greatest discovery of the landscape, okay?
Okay. That information has gotten out, and
Well,
there's a very
no,
high...
it's in an insular... I really can't describe it.
Do
I
you
mean, I
have-
could, but I'd have to kill you sort of situation, right?
Do you have, like, what, an artificing society or something that you just brag about to other artificers?
Don't worry about it.
Okay, then they would be very interested in your work, and also very interested
always
in
are.
possibly selling out this information for research money to fund their own stupid projects.
I don't know if that's how the people we're discussing operate. Money doesn't seem like how they acquire the stuff they need. I'm just saying,
It's
we don't know
mostly
that
just a
much
club
about
of
them.
people, like, you know, jerking themselves off about how cool they are, but, like, occasionally, you know, it's a little...
At least you're aware
But
of
it doesn't, you know...
Casimir.
It's...
Casimir out.
Yeah.
With all this information, it's all above my head. But this Dexter guy, he's no joke. Is it all
Really?
right?
Because his name's Dexter.
Is it all right?
He sucks. Just don't worry. If you're lucky, you never
He
have
was
to deal with him.
He was also a former crew member. He is also knowledgeable, at least with the information that me, Caleb, and Sierra have been aware of. For all I know, he is not aware of these, and I gesture to Docent, he is not aware of these steps in progress. And so, it's entirely possible that he might not be interested in pursuing this endeavor at all. But the ones who captured Dexter, and the ones who attempted to capture me, and the ones who did capture Caleb and Sierra here, they still have a vested interest in this. And as confident as you are in your abilities, you cannot face off a Gith Yankee army.
You can't run your mouth. Just like all this information is going to attract the bad kind of attention. Can you do us a favor, if it's not too much to ask? Can you just hold on to these two? You know, they'll watch our back. You watch this. We got a little bit of things we need to handle. But do you think you could keep each other safe in the meantime?
He's a little stuck on when you said Gith Yankee Army, so...
Oh, that's right. You let that little chestnut slip.
So he goes,
It's just an army.
I don't have a guest room, so you can sleep in the library. Sierra goes, I don't sleep, I just stand upright. Gav's like, yeah, we don't sleep, the library will be just fine, actually. So, do you mind if I take a look at what you're working on? He goes, well, if I can't tell anyone else about it, I suppose someone ought to be impressed by everything. Do you want to look? He says to Sierra. Sierra's like, no. Pray for the best. All right. Fantastic. So...
One last request. Any information... Is there any information that you can pack up and send with us?
You know what? I've been sidetracked, but come back soon. I'll have something for you. Little care package. How's that sound?
Aw.
Sure.
I'll put them in some of those fancy orbs you love.
Thank you.
Great.
Okay.
How's Emmy doing, by the way? Hey, Emmy, you're in there. Oh, I guess I also gotta be Emmy.
Yeah.
She goes, I'm doing so good. It's been so fun to have friends and kill things.
I say that she's been having a great time and she's learning a lot, and she said herself she is not the same artificial intelligence that left.
It's really how Emmy got her groove.
No, she's better, I'm sure. I always knew she would be. I just didn't think she'd have to sit in someone's head and walk around to accomplish it. But, you know, we are what they will grow beyond.
Remarkably healthy attitude for him to have about parenthood. Good job, Casimir.
Why did you get locked in a closet for 2 weeks?
He gets the coveted gold star, the not as big a jerk as you could have been award.
I turn to Caleb.
He's been cleaning up at that for years.
I turn to Caleb and Sierra. I hope this arrangement is comfortable and suitable for you. There will be a time.
If y'all need real food, go down to the market. Because I don't trust his cooking. I don't trust any of the robots that cook for him. Just go down to the market. I'll see what I can do. I'll try to hook you up with something so that y'all can actually have real food.
This is for your this is like for your enjoyment of food, but
we don't need. Thank you. We don't need to.
Right. Oh God.
Yeah.
They're all robots.
Finbar is speaking purely as far as like enjoyment of the experience. However, you may need to house mother this figure here. I mean,
Why
look
are
at
you
him.
talking like I'm not standing in the room next to you?
I mean,
right
look
here,
at him.
visibly.
He's disheveled and decrepit, and it looks like I can knock him over just by blowing on him.
But you need to take a shower. It's not good. It's not good.
You come into my house.
Visibly see stink lines emanating from his body.
I am concerned.
I shower. I just put the same clothes on because they're not dirty.
Holy shit!
They're not dirty because I can't smell them anymore.
They're not dirty after just 2 wears. They're not dirty yet. They go into the not dirty yet chair. And then they go back on my body.
I don't shower. I don't necessarily. The idea of showering.
When they're dirty, they get washed.
All right, this is Noir speaking. The idea of showering, making yourself clean, and then putting on the same dirty clothes as before is disgusting.
They're not dirty. They've only been worn once.
All of this riveting conversation is happening, and Danny's going to try and steal another one of Casimir's books.
Yes, I was hoping
What are
for
you
this.
stealing? Sleight of hand check.
Yeah.
Just another one of his like notebooks.
Yeah, just to see what I can learn. Dirty 20.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, go ahead and write Casimir's second journal on your character sheet. I mean, anyone with a pass, like Finbar, you fully witness search to that.
I clocked that. At this point, Finbar just wants to get out of here.
I like speaking to Caleb and Sierra. I want to make things clear. I want the opportunity to reestablish a relationship with both of you again. I'm sorry that there are things at current that can't necessarily allow for that right now. I wish we had more time. I promise you, when I do have the time, I will come back and... I don't know. I would like to learn more about you. I would like you to learn more about who I am now.
Hey, I'm an artificer. I know better than anyone else that sometimes things fall apart, sometimes things get put back together again. If someone cares enough to try.
I'll awkwardly hug them, I guess.
He gives you a real hug. Sierra goes, and I like you too.
I mean, I was talking to you too as well, Sierra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I like you too.
You're
I like
all
you.
So
I like you
bad
too.
at this.
Two. Virla, Caleb hug. Sierra grabs both of them and lifts them up.
Characters just hanging out.
This is all very touching.
Don't torment him too much.
Thank you for coming. Thank you.
All right. Yeah.
You can take tea on your way out if you want. No one touched the tea, actually.
Oh, yeah. I have it.
I think I
have some
can.
tea.
I passed it on the way over. It's just like actual leaves just in the water. It's lukewarm
what tea
now.
is.
It's a new culinary experience.
It ain't tea.
Put tea in hot water. It's tea.
It's no longer hot. It's not even steeped for that long. It's clear water with a is that a bay leaf?
Is it any good? I'm drinking it.
Is that all right?
Is that one of the best improvised pieces of work?
Noir coming in clutch with the digs at minor NPCs. From Davion to Casimir. They're all getting
cannot
roasted.
stop bullying these men.
They did it first.
Have you not seen any of my PCs in any of our one-shots? I love a pathetic dude.
Yeah. Davion doesn't deserve it, but Casimir does. Anyway, I guess we'll take our leave then.
Go. Thank you. Go.
Oh, as we're walking, lean over
I'll show
to
you guys
Virla,
where you'll be standing. Come on.
He's so dismissive, but I stole another one of his books. So really, who's the idiot in this room right now? Because it ain't us.
You stole the first book?
Yeah. Don't worry about it.
This tea's pretty good. It's nice and refreshing, not too strong.
Have you had actual tea before?
And the leaf is chewy.
Oh no.
It ain't supposed to be chewy. Y'all,
It's not supposed to be in there.
My teeth feel so fresh.
All right, let's get out of here.
All right. Sailing time, resting time. Let's go ahead and say that you guys depart. The Mechanites wave to you as, you, again, very chiply, just like swaying flowers and grass, and you guys like lift up in your sky machine, your sky boat. We'll go ahead and let's say that there are 5 days before you need to see Otto. Is there anything you would like to do? You can obviously skip right to Otto. We can yada yada. We can do a little bit of like some quick vignettes if there's like, little scenes you want to play out, or we can, what would you guys like to do?
I'm good to go.
Yeah, Dani just wants to get back to normal.
I think Virla actually might want to look into more like armor.
That
the
might
elven
be a
armor.
brass thing.
That is true. So I'm okay with going to brass, either meeting Otto first and then buying armor, or the reverse. All this to say is that he's changing his getup again.
Character art.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll do a cut, and we arrive in Brass. We see, the ship pull in for that familiar lava harbor, make dock, the sort of shield underneath the Per Aspera shimmering as, just the oppressive heat is trying to combust it, but that protective code that protects against the mundane sort of elemental challenges of the planescape keeps it from just, going up like a tinderbox. You guys disembark. Roy saw you guys coming in, waiting for you.
My boy.
Another pathetic dude, man. I really can't stop, can I?
Roy's fine.
Roy's my boy.
Roy's fine.
Thank
We
you
like
very
Roy.
much.
Egan was the pathetic dude.
And look how that
He was
went.
pathetic.
Yeah.
That went. Well, welcome back. Good to see you. You're taller,
No, I'm not.
right?
Nope, I'm the same height I've always been.
Just behind Dani, silently nodding.
I'm nodding
He
as well.
he leans past to look at Kyana, now 9 inches shorter than she is.
Don't worry about it.
No, I'm pretty sure you're taller.
And I'm pretty sure you're wrong. I think I would know how tall I am.
Perhaps you shrunk.
You is this am I gonna be hitting my head against a wall if I try and
No,
break
it's
through what's going on here, or
be nice, y'all. Yeah, she got a little taller. Adventuring, does stuff to you. It's alright.
is this like the blue thing?
Someone's deflecting with comedy. It's fine.
Yeah, it's exactly
Let's say
like the
yes.
blue thing.
Man, am I glad I'm not on that ship. Speaking of, you want Otto to know you're back, I assume?
Yeah, I'll go check in with him, I guess.
Oh, do we all have to go?
It would
I'm not
be a
dead,
good
you
show
don't
if
have
we
to go.
all at least walked
Yeah,
to
just
the
like
door.
as a gesture of good faith, just being
Okay.
like, yeah.
And we're early.
And you're early. You guys walk through, lots going on, say hi to Sadie and Marnie, which I'm glad I've said that correctly, not backwards every time.
Mady and Sarni.
Yeah, exactly. I'm afraid
Yep.
I'm going to always say that.
Sadie and Marnie.
Mandy just chewing on a cigarette.
Yeah, Mandy doesn't have a job right now, huh?
Mandy doesn't have anything going on. When it rains, it pours. Mandy has a lot to do, or Mandy does not have so much to
No.
do.
Yeah.
So they're just watching you go past. Does a little heads up nod.
Stare back, do a little nod.
Could use work. You guys make your way towards a familiar sight. A familiar Azer, Zach, standing outside of a familiar door that leads to Otto's office.
Yeah, I know. So is the auto around?
Opens the door. Otto comes strolling out. So, prodigal sons and daughters return. How's it going? I'm sad to learn that our good friend Delphine is not renewing on her contract. She sent me word, but seems that her gold cleared, and you had work for some time, so how was it?
Cleared? Like there was the possibility it might bounce?
That could be fake gold.
If the gold bounces when you drop it, it's actually not gold, so you have a problem.
Wow.
You haven't been in the Planescape very long if you haven't come across the classic fabricate gold to pay and then it disappears.
That's so cool.
No,
Usually
I can see the problem though.
No, Kyana, we need gold to live.
Oh, yeah.
The
You don't
jobs,
need gold to live.
All right,
The
well, I
jobs
need
are
gold
fine.
to pay for things that, are us keeping the ship alive. So we do, in this instance, need gold to live. I guess,
things are nice,
metaphorically, no.
Fair
the
enough.
jobs are fine, but client employee privileges, privacy. It was something that Delphine had requested. Stay between us.
We did
Why
the
am
jobs,
I saying this?
we got paid. That's that. What's next?
Well, I suppose at the end of the day, it really is her business what she does with the ship, as long as she's renting it. But she is not. Now, I didn't expect you to be back so soon, so I don't have anything lined up for you presently. But I do have something that I've been setting up, sort of a three-way transaction that will be the middlemen on. That looks very promising in terms of making connections and getting paid. So we don't need to hash out all the details, but if we want to maybe go through the broad strokes, Dani, why don't you join me? And the rest of you, I don't know, do whatever it is you do when you're not working.
Cool.
All right.
I guess I'm not gonna argue it, but as we leave, I'm gonna give Dani a look of like, you okay with this? You good?
Yeah, man. It's a bus.
Okay. I give a, you got this nod, and I'll walk out.
No, Sonny, don't look directly at the sky. Take his goggles.
Sonny, huge dilated eyes. Sonny's just becoming the slasher villain from the movie Sunshine. I can't remember his name, but
Bigger sun means better sun?
the guy who stares at the sun and he's like, how long can I get the full sun? And the computer's like, 7 seconds, and he's like, yeah, do it. That guy. Go watch Sunshine. It's got Chris Evans. It's a good.
we love Chris Evans.
It's a really good movie. It's a really good sci-fi movie. You guys can disperse.
Yeah.
And
I kind of pat Dani on her back. Like, let us know if you need anything.
Everyone's acting like I'm gonna walk off into a war zone. I feel like Dani's internal monologue is like, this energy is so much more ominous than the time I actually died.
What do Dani? You enter, door closes. Just at a brief, what is everyone else going to be up to while Dani is meeting with Otto?
I'd like to visit the blacksmiths. I have a project or two to send their way.
I'll actually go with Finbar because I wanted to look into maybe getting some slightly beefier armor.
And I'll bring more gold because these two keep spending it on stuff and might not have enough.
All right. So we'll let's go ahead and resolve. You go ahead to your old friend Broomthar. I believe it's Broomthar.
Yes, Broomthar.
Muthar.
I was just looking it up.
Broomthar. Yes, over at his shop in Pyraculum, on the Street of Craftsmen. It's been a little bit. You've picked up your Gilded Acorn, so I don't think you have any outstanding projects with our bushy-eyed fire giant. Now that you guys have also dealt with another contingent of fire giants, by the way, this dude seems so chill compared to the guys
Yeah.
in Normer.
Yeah.
He's real lax about it. And pretty typical though, he speaks in giant to Finbar. It's like, one of my best customers. Welcome back.
Hello, brother. It's been too long.
Far too long, unless you've been collecting gold to spend here, in which case, just the right amount of time.
I've got gold, and I've got something quite rare that I found. And I pull out the Arendor ore, and I place it in front of him.
He picks it up. It's pretty small in his hand. So he gives it a little squeeze, licks it, says, "Is this what I think it is?"
I barely know what it is, but what I've been told about it, we can make something real nice with this.
You could make something real nice out of this. It would take time. Wouldn't be easy. I'd need everyone in the shop working on it, but we could make something real nice out of it. What did you have in mind?
Finbar pulls something out of his inner pocket. It's a crude little drawing, and he slips it his way. It's, a friend of mine is looking for an upgrade. I don't know if this idea going to be possible, but at some point, you let me know if it's possible, and I'll send you the other half of the thing you're going to need.
Are you showing us what the image is? Or
You're a mysterious
high up
one.
on the table, we can't see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, seriously, yeah.
Yeah.
He takes the small little in his hand. The edges just singe a little bit as he's holding it, and says, "We'll talk to my daughter. She's the more creative one, see what we can't do."
All right.
You gonna be back in town soon?
I have a feeling we're going to be in brass a lot in the next couple of days coming.
Excellent. Well, at least give me the night. We'll see what we can do. Turns to the rest of them. In Giant says to you, "Did they want anything also?"
Actually,
it occurs to me, Emmy could learn this right now.
Oh, yes! Yeah, I want that.
Yeah, go ahead. So, I believe this just works. Once per day, she can cast comprehend languages. I guess tongues. She can do both. Of them.
I would need to cast comprehend languages to do so.
Yeah. So, go ahead. You cast it, and what sounds like extremely bassy. It's a deep language, right? It also has similarities to Dwarvish and Orcish. They use the same alphabet, but it weirdly racks into focus, like in Pocahontas, where they're like, you gotta listen with your heart. Except this, you're listening with an arcane intelligence. It kind of racks into focus. It overshoots and then comes back, and you start to understand about when he says, "Did they need anything?"
What language did I learn?
Giant.
Okay, cool.
Yes.
I will respond. Wait,
and
I
you
can only
basically translate in your head, and you will say it as you think it. She can translate it, and you can speak it aloud, right? So
Okay,
she's
so
being
I
an
can
interpreter for you.
I can speak Giant, or I can only read.
Yeah, you can speak as long as you're attuned to Emmy. You can speak it.
Okay.
This is the cool in-universe justification, but
Okay.
you
Gotcha.
speak Giant.
All right. In Giant, then I will respond. I need armor to bolster my strength. I think the only one that would actually help me, that I can actually wear, is chainmail of some kind. If you have any magical chainmail, then that might be a thing.
That's a nice question. Real quick, what is your dexterity modifier?
My dex is +0, so none of
so you really
none of the
really
medium armor is
benefit.
going to help me.
Oh boy. You want mithril, as light as a feather.
Yeah,
as
well, he's
hard
got-
as
I mean, I kind of
dragon
got it.
He's got it
the other
already.
shit.
That's the
Yeah.
thing,
You want
right?
more
is
mithril.
He has elven chain that's extremely,
Yeah.
But what is your AC with the elven chain?
My AC with the elven chain is 15. So
15.
with chain, which I think is 15 plus 1 or plus strength. No, it's just flat 16. Never
It's
mind.
just a flat 16. Now,
So,
chain he definitely has. Enchanted
Okay.
chain is a more specific thing to commission. If you want he could get you a +1 of any of these armors, right? You guys can afford that, and +1 is a thing that a skilled craftsman can do, basically, with a little bit of like time and expenditure of whatever. Okay. That's where like uncommon and common like kind of stop with normal craftsmen. For an enchantment, you'll have to get an armor from him and then find someone who can do the enchantment, or else seek out a specific enchanter, right? So magic items are of like rare value are just not that available, even in a city as high as magic as brass. So you could definitely get a chainmail +1. I'll say that. If you want, I believe you're also proficient with shields now.
I was just about to say.
Which you could get a shield which would... I mean, look, you could also do both if you got the gold, right? But you could also get a shield of +1. He actually might be... Let me do a quick...
I never want to get hit ever again.
Quick search on shields, but I believe that...
You could fuse
the thing is,
a shield to your clockwork staff.
On a quick meta note, the Arandor is capable of two things, two main enchantments. One, it can give things the Vorpal property, which is you roll an @20, you cut off the head. Or it can be used to make defensive items that make you resistant to force damage. So it is possible. So Finbar has ideas, which are very cool. Kyana also did just get a badass sword. So Finbar has ideas. There's also the notion that he could make something for you with this ore that is armor that is magical and has resistance to to force damage. So those are things that are possible. Otherwise, if you're looking to just buy one item, a shield of +1 is going to give you a +3 to AC.
True.
So,
but this is a very vain reason. I kind of like the figure that Virla has on him, and I feel like a shield will kind of bulk it up too much.
Fair enough. I mean,
you gotta make it so that
not
the
everything
shield
has to be a hard
works as
numbers
like
crunch.
a hat, so it's like the brim of the hat, so that you can keep the wizard hat aesthetic,
like,
and then just
what's his name?
James Bond?
No, like Enzo from Clone Wars, the bounty hunter. I don't know if I'm speaking. He's the guy that's voiced by Dave Filoni, and you know it because his whole thing is that he has a giant hat.
Is it Cad Bane?
Cad Bane has the giant hat.
No. There was another bounty hunter that doesn't speak like basic or English, but he has like a steel wider hat that he like basically uses as his main form of protection. I think also his weapon at times. I think his name is Enzo.
Anyway,
so these are all notions. What would you now that I've sort of given you a menu of options? How are you feeling, Noir?
How much is I guess I need to know some context. How much would it be to buy regular chainmail +1, or let's say chainmail +2?
Chainmail, he's not going to have chainmail +2.
If I were to look for it, like a rough estimate.
Oh, fair enough. So chainmail is 75 gold pieces. You got that fucking... do you want to cover the Per Aspera and chainmail, right? +1 armor, 1,500. So you're looking at 1,500 gold for a +1 armor.
Okay.
We basically assume the 75 gold is contained within that.
Yeah. All right. This is awkward. I turn to Finbar and Kyana. I have 1,400 gold. Not
How
enough
much do
to
you
buy.
need?
I need 100.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have more than 3,000 in storage. You can have 100.
how?
Thanks.
I never spend it on anything.
I think Kyana's become our unofficial treasurer because she doesn't use it on anything.
I got the sword for free.
Yeah.
No, that's true.
Except
That is
emotionally. The emotional toll is steep.
I would like to purchase that +1 armor then. So that gives me, 17 then?
Yeah, oh, you know what? Give me a sec.
Ooh.
You've got Elven Chain.
Did it exchange?
Right.
So Elven Chain, I don't know if you want to keep it, because it's incredibly badass. But it's worth 4,000 gold.
I did think about this, but also it was a gift from, like, astral elves whom no other other person has seen in like thousands of years. Like, I'm keeping it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Cool. So, but yeah, he's happy to do business with you, and he'll give you that sweet +1 chain.
Okay.
So go ahead and mark that in your inventory.
I'm out of gold.
Check off the gold. Hope you don't have any spells you got a copy over.
Nah.
No. We're gonna literally book. Yeah, we have. Yeah, you're good. It's a non-attunement item, so you just.
That was also important.
On and off. Yeah. All right, Kyana, is there anything you want to take care of while you're here? You're just happy to be the sugar mama.
I'm just chilling. I don't think there's anything I can like equip for. I don't know. Can either monks or barbarians have armor? I don't think so.
You lose the bonus of unarmored defense, which is which is wisdom plus dex for you. So there's basically no armor that's going to really screw that up. There's probably not an easy way for you to increase your AC with armor or shields.
Oh well.
You need a crazy good shield to make it worth it, because then you could use the barbarian unarmed defense, which is constitution plus dexterity, and have like a crazy shield bonus. It's probably not worth it.
That's good, yeah.
I forgot that I had integrated protection, so I actually have an armor class of 18.
That's my armor class.
Oh.
Man, y'all are getting so hard to hit. I'm just gonna have to use saving throws.
Come on, man.
Charisma saves out the wazoo. Fantastic. Well, it seems like there is. You guys are taken care of there. So a satisfied customers and a satisfied seller. Let's cut back, rewind in time, back to standing in the heap. The door closes. Otto looks at Dani, says, "Would you like a drink? I'd kind of like a drink."
Never once in my life have you offered me a drink before, so you have to understand how unsettling this is.
You always have to keep them off guard, never knowing what to expect. If I haven't taught you that yet, then I don't know what I've taught you.
No, I don't want to.
It's not a trick, I promise. It's not a trick, I promise. In fact, it's actually quite tasty. It's aged 150 years. He reaches into a drawer and pulls out a bottle. 850 years, actually. It's made of the finest wheat that can barely survive growing in the Plane of Fire. It's got quite the kick to it.
Getting bougie on me, Otto?
No, I won it in a... Well, actually, sorry. Excuse me. He wouldn't say that.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't do that. What he instead says is, actually, I got a good deal on it. Did a job for someone, and it ended up being a bit of collateral, so... Believe me, I wouldn't spend this much money on something if it was just for me, but... I certainly don't turn my nose up at something this fancy when it falls into my lap.
So what do you want to talk about?
Mostly, I just want to catch up on how things have been going. For example, Delphine's gone, so I take it that you didn't really have use for her anymore.
She chose to leave because she didn't have use for us anymore. Only so many people need a spelljammer all the time.
Make a deception check.
Oh.
The thing that's getting me is, why does he care?
19.
He just wants to know what's going on.
I'm going to use my Flash of Genius to to go ahead and add, hold on, looking up how much it is. 4 to that to bring it to 23.
He rolled well. You didn't actually quite... He just beat it without the Flash of Genius, but with a Flash of Genius.
Flash of Genius, the single greatest skill in the Artificer's skill list.
It's so busted and I love it.
He gives a nod. He goes... See, you say like that, she didn't need us anymore. He goes, well, whatever the case may be then. It seems that you are free. How do you feel about that?
Well, I assume that there's another job lined up, so I don't know if free is the word that most of the crew would necessarily use, but it's nice to not have...
Free from having a babysitter. I know that you weren't thrilled to have one on board.
It's nice to not have to worry about a passenger in addition to any cargo and or ourselves. So, yeah, that's nice.
He does pour you a glass. I don't know if you want to drink it.
Dani hasn't touched it. She doesn't trust any sort of handout.
Fair enough. he says, well, like I said, there is something being lined up. I have not had any luck finding another babysitter, but frankly, I don't really think that you need one.
What changed your mind?
After the business with the Giants and the Gith Yankee, which was a smashing success, by the way. The Zardazil is in high demand, you'll be happy to know. After all of that, when you decided to let me have it, you said something that I found funny. You said that you used to think I was the smartest guy you knew. Which is funny, because I haven't been the smartest person at the heap since you started working here.
I don't like getting compliments.
That's true. That's a fact.
Auto redemption.
Perception check, insight check, insight check.
The little voice in my head of Kyana. It's almost like she's here, but I'm not gonna.
That's why Otto didn't want us in
Little
here.
pocket Kyana.
Yeah.
He always demands you roll the insight check.
I'm not gonna. Not yet.
Okay.
God damn it.
I can't have you all running around doing anything you please all the time when it strikes your fancy. Because that's not how this arrangement works. That being, and I think you understand that. I mean it when I say, I think you're the smartest. I know you understand that. And I know you don't like it either. But I think you know that there's a reason you have the ship and not anyone else. And it only has 30% to do with your artificer abilities. You know, you talk a big game about how you're the only one who can keep the ship running. Well, sure, of everyone here, you're the clear choice. But, come on. We know that with a Spelljammer, you know that we detract the right kind of artificer. No. You're on the ship simply because you deserve it. I could have sold it when it came in. I wanted to sell it. And it wasn't your lanky friend who convinced me otherwise because he cared about it. I didn't sell it because you wanted it. Am I right?
Yeah.
I want you, believe me or don't believe me, I want you to be successful. And yes, part of that is because if you're successful, the heap is successful. I care a great deal about this place. I built it up. But it's not everything. I was angry because I thought a lesson needed to be taught, but I think with hindsight, you already understood the lesson because you're always 2 steps ahead there. Am I right again?
Yeah.
So here's why I bring this to you now. We come off the back of that, come off the back of our disagreement, a fight over what you really want the ship for. I know what you really want the ship for, though. The ship will let you go anywhere. The ship lets you do anything. And I know that that's what you care about. And as long as it's tied to the heap, you doing those things benefits everyone here greatly. It's a relationship where we both benefit, and that doesn't have to be cynical or gross. It can just be the way that people are. Would you call it cynical to say that you get good things from your friends and they get good things from you? Does that make it foul? Who am I to say? I don't have any real friends. That being said, when the ship can go anywhere and do anything,
This is gaslighting.
is the place you really want to be, standing between me as the owner of the ship and your crew wanting to do anything that they want with it. Is the thing you really want to do, manage that relationship with all your skills and all your talents. Does that sound like a good future to you?
What are you getting at? Because I'm not leaving the ship. You own the ship.
I wouldn't ask you to.
So what's the alternative?
I wouldn't ask them to leave either. The alternative is I ask the smartest person I know to make sure that the other people involved get along well with the current setup. Clearly it works for you. I'd like it to keep working for you and keep working for us. And I'm not ordering you to do it. I'm asking, do you think the best course of action is for you to make sure that everyone stays on the same page? Or do you want to be caught in the tug of war between their expectations and our reality?
Kind of feels like I'm already in the tug of war part. I can't promise you that I can make them all magically become your friends. They are pretty pissed as it stands, but...
I already told you, I don't have any, and I don't need to.
Alright, well, you and I both know Zax would be incredibly insulted if he heard that, but... I have been standing up for this current arrangement, and I don't see a reason to stop it, because I really don't see an alternative.
Oh, you're smart. I'm sure you'd figure something out.
Yeah, I don't know if it's me.
That being said, do you want to? If you could, right now, if you had the power to sever the contract and sail away with your friends, and you all got to put in a vote on what each adventure would be, each new day, going at the whim of a different member, is that what you would want?
I don't know.
Well,
I don't think it is, honestly. But
you were always destined to do more than work at some heap. But you weren't destined to be their lapdog, making sure that their boat that takes them from fun romp to fun romp works. I might control certain things the ship does, but I certainly don't control you. I would ask you don't let them either.
I understand.
I know you would. And I don't want it to feel like a lecture. I do love the sound of my own voice, granted, but I don't want it to feel like a lecture. I've lectured you enough. To say that I taught you everything you knew would be a gross mischaracterization. I told you everything I knew. You did the rest.
Is that all?
That's all unless you want to finish your drink with me.
Dani chugs the drink and bolts.
Make a constitute. No.
No, she doesn't bolt. She chugs
like
the drink and
revelation.
very purposefully and methodically walks away.
Yeah, fair enough.
But I do want to leave as I'm chugging. I'm gonna use hold on, what is this called? Magical tinkering, to just like grab whatever the nearest bauble on the desk is and have it repeat. I do love the sound of my own voice for Otto.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
And it just loops.
But you should hide it somewhere in the room so he doesn't know where it is.
Just leave it on his desk, little desk trinket.
That's amazing.
I like the idea of the revelation that Otto is a bad guy because his responsible perspective of the world just does not clash with the game mechanics of D&D. Or just
you want to
just
have
not mesh.
fun episodic adventures with your 3 to 7 friends, whatever,
Adventures changing like the seasons.
Quests and fun plot hooks. Psh, boring.
Danny
when you could be
Baby's
working
Market
for me
Associate.
for the rest of your life.
How does Dani feel about all that leaving? Was that a leaving out of a like, yeah, let me just get out of this situation because like, you know, I don't need to disagree with him here? Does it feel like there were insights or like he's pegged it all wrong?
I think the most disturbing thing to Dani is that some of it wasn't too far off from her own feelings. But I do think she just kind of felt like, I have nothing to add here, and I'm not quite ready to completely move on from our last encounter. So steps are made in the right direction for the Dani Otto relationship, but I think she's just got a lot to think over, and she wants to not think it over in the presence of one of the influences. Fair
enough. It's a very good insight.
She is going to go throw some stuff at Roy and bug him, though, since I assume everyone is still off to the Smith.
You do all that as you're walking out. He says, I will have something in the next few days, by the way, so do stay close.
Wouldn't go anywhere. And then go. Roy!
Roy. Shit! Sorry, it's force of habit.
You want to see what I did to the bike? And I'll show him all of my alterations to the bike. Any tinkering and updo. I haven't actually. Sophia the player has not made any mechanical changes, but just like, decals that Dani has painted on her spare time, stuff like that.
Yeah, he's very polite. Like, he's not into the racing of it, but he's very polite about it, and impressed as always with your capabilities. Everyone else comes back a little bit poorer, but with a little bit more stuff.
A lot poorer.
And we will actually. Why don't we skip ahead a few days to Otto giving you guys your next job.
Oh.
Gathers you around. You recognize a familiar barrel sitting nearby, and then a sort of kind of like lockbox, kind of looking, kind of gold lockbox, reflecting the brilliant, fiery sky here, sitting next to it. One of the barrels of Zardazil that you guys harvested.
Mm-hmm.
So, after a few inroads made there in recent times, great thanks to some of your work, I have a client in Avernus that could use a part and is willing to pay handsomely for a specific piece of equipment. He puts his hand on the box. So, if you don't have any outstanding engagements, if you wouldn't mind visiting Avernus, find our client there, drop it off, receive the payment, and then drop it off with a second client in Sigil, who we are acting as a middleman for. You'll get your final payment there. 20%, of course, of the cut to keep for yourselves. Sound agreeable?
Dani is
allowed to know what this
vibrating at the concept of getting to go back to Avernus with all of their fun machines.
Oh my god.
What did you say, Noir?
Are we allowed to know what is contained within the box, or is that secret box? Not for us to know? This is pure curiosity.
Certainly. Why don't I give you all the details? And that's where we'll go ahead and end the episode. Pick up next week on the adventure.
Oh, sneaky.
A warlord is trying to build himself back together and needs a very crucial component.
I haven't booked any guests yet, to my knowledge, because we're recording so far in advance. So if
I would love if this was just like Blaze's head in a box.
That'd be really funny.
Yeah. A third head? He's Blitzwing.
Sometimes you just need to go as crazy as possible when it comes to a Planescape adventure. Anyway, speaking of crazy as possible, I hope you guys enjoyed our introduction back into season 4, setting up the way things are going to be and future plot lines. Things are coming together. I'm very interested to see everything that happens. Thank you so much for returning. We will see you again next week. We'll catch you in hell.
Yeah.
See you in hell.
I get to come up with another hell title. Those are always so easy to write.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks so much for listening to this week's episode of Rolling with Difficulty. The crew of the Per Aspera will return next week for another thrilling installment, but if you miss us before then, you can visit us on Rolling with Difficulty's Discord, linked in the show notes below. Got any questions, comments, or concerns? Feel free to email us at rollwithdifficulty@gmail.com. If you enjoyed the show, please rate us and leave a review on your preferred podcast platform. And if you really enjoyed the show, consider becoming a patron for even more exclusive content, like art from the cast, stories about NPCs, and homebrew like the Bard College of Feast subclass. Thank you to everyone who has been supporting the show and listening, and we'll catch you out on the Astral Sea.